drive to Indianola to buy new Fords. During the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges. And up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
We are live here from Valley High School. CIML boys and girls basketball action. Going to be with the Valley Tigers, ranked on the girls' side, but coming off a huge win on the boys' side as well. And the Ames Little Cyclones coming on the road, looking to try to improve their stock on both the boys and the girls' side. My name's Emery Sunger. I'll be joined by John Hurl in a moment. We are excited to bring these two games for you, and we'll have more preview of this girls' basketball game with the 13th ranked Valley Tigers and the Ames Little Cyclones right after this. You're watching it on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules. They're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Welcome in. We are live here from the Valley High School Gymnasium, and the Valley Tigers going to be hosting the Ames Little Cyclones, boys and girls basketball. The entire Central Iowa Sports Network crew here on location getting you set for what should be a couple of fantastic boys and girls basketball games. John Hurl sitting to my left. My name is Emery Sunger. We thank you for joining us. Johnny sitting here watching the girls warm up. 13th ranked Valley Tigers. An interesting team, to say the least. We'll talk about Ames in a second, but this Valley team, they make their name on defense, and they have several players who can contribute on the offensive end as well.
Yeah, Emery, this is a game where, especially when you look at Valley, you kind of got to throw away that record. They're coming in here as an 8-7 team. I think that they're probably one of the best 8-7 teams in the state. They play phenomenal defense against teams, even at the top of the ticket. You know, you look at a team like Waukee. Valley played them so tough defensively, you know, forced them into overtime, and that was just a phenomenal job that they did. The 12th best, or excuse me, third best strength of schedule the Valley has. They played a very, very solid schedule of teams, and they're the 7th best defense in the state.
Well, and that just tells you how good they actually are. And you talk about it. I mean, both these teams are about as good as almost 500 teams can be, at least statistically. Valley's defense shocked the heck out of me in their 2 games against Waukee, one of the top offenses in the state in girls basketball. Last Friday I was there, John Hurl. You can watch the game on the CISN YouTube channel where Waukee hosted Valley. Valley, in the first meeting of the 2 teams in December, held the Waukee Warriors just 48 points. I said there's no way they could possibly do that again. And then they did better, and in overtime held them to 38 points in a game. John, they average over 70 points a game. This Valley defense is for real. And if Ames is going to have any prayer of pulling this game off, because let's face it, Ames is a great team as well, comparatively to what their 8-7 record is. They too are 8-7. They're ranked 12th right now, but it goes really through 2 players, and specifically their outside shooting.
Yeah, it really does. And you look at 2 girls you mentioned, Caroline Wade and Ashley Ames. They just do a phenomenal job just volume scoring. You know, they put a lot of shots up, and when they are on, it's going to be really, really hard to stop this Ames team. If Ames catches any team on the right night, they have a chance to win because of those 2 scorers and the job that they can do from the outside.
The difference being, this is kind of a good matchup offensively if Caroline Waite, who is shooting a lower percentage, under 30% from 3 on the year, but she is noted as being one of the top shooters, at least with the way that she shoots it, her technique, her skill as a shooter in the early portion of her career. That number was way higher, but she's still a big volume shooter, and when she does get hot, hard to stop. And Valley likes to run a zone defense, and one thing that you are taught when you're a young girl or boy and you're learning about basketball, as on like the coaching and the X's and O's, when you see that zone defense, your zone offense, there's a couple of things that you want to do. And Waukee had trouble doing this as well. That was getting a player into the middle of that zone. We see Valley right now, they're kind of running through a 3-2 zone look right now. But you got to get a player in the middle of that zone so you can get the ball to them and they have the options galore and try to get that defense to collapse on them. The second thing you need is to make some outside shots. So maybe if they don't get out of the zone, but at least the zone has to spread out a little bit more and gives you more space to operate in the inside.
Yeah, Emery, when I look at hypothetical situations for both these teams winning the game, for Valley, it's pretty easy. They just have to play solid defense, never let any of these shooters get in rhythm, and just outscore the opponent and never let them really get going offensively. That's how Valley's going to win this game. When I look at Ames, if they're going to win this game, it's like you mentioned, they're going to have to break down that zone. They're going to have to make a couple shots outside early, especially with their shot makers, Waite and Ames, to force the defense to be honest, play them all the way out to the three-point line, and then you need to establish a girl in the middle like you mentioned. If they can do that, if they can score more than Valley, you know, obviously if they can score more than Valley would like them to and score in ways that make Valley uncomfortable with the way that they normally play defense, that is how Ames could win this game.
Valley only scores about 53.5 points per game, but they hold teams under 44 points per game typically this season.
Every month or so,
the Ames team, I mean, if they're not shooting the ball very well, they don't do a whole lot better in terms of scoring per game, but the explosiveness with those outside shooters, with Ames, who also can play on the inside a little bit. She might be your answer in the middle early for head coach Joel Sullivan and the Ames Little Cyclones, but Caroline Waite, you would think that she's going to have to knock down some shots. And can you get something else from Tegan Lipsey? Averages 10 points a game. Maybe even Brooke Spraggins, Morgan Seibert, those players that are going to be kind of those extra players, get 6-8 points from a couple of them. This game could turn on its head very quickly, and you'd think that Ames wants this game to be played a little bit higher scoring than Valley would like it as well. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll give you the starting lineups for the two girls teams and get you the opening tip-off. Number 12 Ames taking on the number 13th ranked Valley Tiger girls basketball team right after this on CISN.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Yep.
All right, we are back here live from Valley High School. Emery Songer, John Hurl, the CISN crew. We appreciate you for giving us your attention on a Tuesday night. Good basketball matchup here between the 12th-ranked Ames Little Cyclones girls basketball team and the 13th-ranked Valley Tigers. Valley coming off that incredible effort against one of the top 5 teams in the state in Waukee on the road on Friday. Held them to 31 points in regulation, but lost in overtime 38-31. On the flip side for this Ames team, I mean, it's been a little up and down, but they did pull off a win against another team. They're kind of battling for position here at the back end of the top 15 in the IGH SAU rankings, and that was Ankeny Centennial. But Ames is 2-4 over the last games, and they did lose to Johnston Monday. Johnston, to me, we saw them early this season and certainly looked every bit the part of a potential state championship team. This game should be played pretty closely, but as we talked about, John, before we get to the starting lineups, when you're Ames, I have to get some scoring out of Waite. I mean, she does have an impressive 17.5 points per game average, but the percentage has got to be a little bit higher on the three-point shots. Ashley Imes averages over 40% from three-point shots. You want her to take plenty of those as well, shooting over this zone. And then can I get somebody like 6-8 points from Lipsy? Can I get 6-8 points from Spraggins and maybe like 4 to 6 points from Cyber? Those are the kind of players that are going to make a huge difference on the Ames side. But the way I saw Valley defend against Waukee on Friday, that is going to be an uphill battle.
Well, defense is consistent, Emery. You know, if you're making a big ask, if you're asking people to be perfect offensively, particularly perfect early score and high volume early in the game, defense is a consistent way to play basketball. It's something that's really in the DNA of a team. It's a lot more about effort, and it's something that you can frankly bring every night. If you follow basketball, you know that there are nights where teams just aren't going to shoot the ball as well. There are very few nights where a team just won't play well defensively for some or whatever reason. It's a very consistent factor of your game, and when you play defense as consistently as Valley does, you're going to find yourself in every single game no matter who you're playing.
This game has minimal implications, I think, for seeding in the playoffs. You want to win this game because the loser of this game is going to be a little bit more behind the 8 ball, but just generally speaking, you're going to want to position yourself with a victory here a little bit more solidly as a 2 seed in regional play. I'm not saying that the 1 seed is completely out of the question for both these teams, but it's such a crowded Central Iowa. I mean, when you look at Central Iowa, they're probably going to have 4 or 5 regions that will have a 1 seed from Central Iowa. Johnston, Dowling Catholic, Waukee, Southeast Polk, Urbandale also could be in that mix. Ankeny Centennial ranked 10th going into last week, but having lost to Ames, that certainly changes a little bit as Brooke Spraggins, first starter being announced for Coach Joel Sullivan in Ames, the junior 5'9". Maggie Hall on the other side for Joe Segrist and Valley. Maggie Hall 5'7", senior. Here's Carolyn Waite. Waite is a 5'3" junior, but a sharp shooting specialist. She is going to Bradley to continue her playing career. And then Grace Plummer, leading scorer for Valley, 5'10" senior. Tegan Lipsy, senior at 5'9". And then Haley Chappell, the 5'6" junior for Valley. Kennedy White, a 6-foot freshman. She's had a good, solid freshman season for the Little Cyclones. She'll shake hands with 5'8" senior Alex Honnold for Valley. And then 6'1" junior Ashley Imes going to be introduced finally for Ames. And then Meredith Reeker, the 5'9" sophomore, will shake hands as Joel Sullivan's team, the Ames Little Cyclones, wearing their orange uniforms trimmed in black. On the other side, Valley wearing white trimmed in black with orange trim for head coach Joe Segrist. Tigers ranked 13th at 8-7. Ames ranked 12th at 8-7. Let's go ahead and take a listen in for our PA announcer, and we are going to have our national anthem. The national anthem here from Valley High School. Now, see, you look at that Tiger logo in the middle. It kind of looks like the Ames logo a little bit with the way that it's upside down from our vantage point. So, might have to correct me a couple of times on that, Johnny Hill, but we're getting set for what should be a fantastic girls basketball game. As I mentioned before the anthem, 12 versus 13 here. There are some postseason implications if you're talking about long-term for both of these teams, but a lot more has to happen for both of them after this in terms of playoff positioning. But you want to win this because you lose a game like this, you probably are going to fall out of the rankings. Now, Ames does have the win over Ankeny Centennial that could very well keep them when Thursday's rankings come out, but you want to make sure you get a number 2 seed and get at least one home game when it comes to regional play.
Well, yeah, Emery, and really this is a measuring stick game. Both of these teams, 8-7. These teams only one ranking spot apart from each other in the rankings. You know, both these teams, frankly, probably believe that they're better than the other team. You know, if nothing else, this game's a confidence builder. This is a team that you are at least almost even with on paper. If you can go out and win this game, build confidence in yourself heading into the postseason, it could do strides for your team. Similarly, if you lose this game, it's going to be tough for you to get up for the next one.
Cold Iron Fieldhouse getting set. Kind of a fun venue with stands on either side as well. Kind of reminds you of Ankeny High School, which we have been to earlier this season. Valley wins the tip, and Tegan Lipsy right to the hole. Waite puts it on a platter for her, and Lipsy a very quick 2. They know they're going to have to play with a little bit of pace because when you talk about Valley, they're going to want to slow this thing down and play this thing in the 40s at the highest with their defense. And if they can get over 50 points, they'll take that.
Yeah, and they're going to want to settle in the zone, Emery.
Here is Valley offensive possession for the first time. Reeker outside on the left corner. Back to the top, Maggie Hall. And then settles it down with Haley Chappell. Chappell hands it off to Alex Honnold. And then Grace Plummer is going to catch and shoot a 3 and bury it from the right wing.
Plummer came off that screen. She really, frankly, wasn't too open, Emery, but confidence in the shot. She took it. She made it.
Yeah, Plummer comes in 34% from downtown. Easily has the most three-point attempts of anybody on the team as there's going to be a kick ball by Honnold. There's full court pressure. Did see this quite a bit on Friday as well. They do stretch this zone out all the way down to full court, three-quarter court press, do a little trapping in the half court as well. But there's a beautiful pass by Waite finding Imes. Imes bobbled the ball, and that allowed Valley defensively to get back. Chappell pokes it out of bounds. It'll stay down here. But Waite, 5 feet 3 inches, a beautiful baseball pass down to Imes, who broke the opposite direction.
Yeah, great pass. A little bit of a missed opportunity because if you can score in the fast break quickly like that, you don't let Valley get settled into their zone, and you don't let them affect you on that full court press.
Well, they are in the zone right now. It's a little 2-3 look. Waite's going to drive, leave it for Lipsy. Lipsy over to Spraggins out on the right wing. Spraggins not really an outside shooter, and then there's going to be a turnover. Honnold with it. She's going to stop, turn around, little spin move too strong, though, and the rebound, Kennedy White. But then it's stolen by Honnold, and she's fouled.
A lot of effort there on Holland, not only getting the steal on the defensive end, but getting her own rebound, putting it up, being fouled. And effort points like that in a close and closely anticipated matchup could be what makes the difference.
The freshman Kennedy White made the rebound, but had her little pass poked away, and then White commits the foul, and Alex Honnold to the free throw line to shoot a couple. She's the second leading scorer on this team, averaging better than 12 points per game. She actually, on a points per game, she missed a couple of games, so on a points per game level, she is the leading scorer for this team, but a 76% shooter from the free throw line. Second one is good as well, 2 for 2. So Honnold onto the scoreboard with a couple.
And what that does when you make baskets on this end, if you're Valley, is it lets you get settled in your full court press.
As long as they want to keep doing this press, and they very well may do that to try to make sure Waite and Ames don't feel like they need to shoot threes, because that could very well keep Ames in this game longer than they want them to. Waite's going to go with a little mid-ranger, a little bit short on it, and the rebound pulled down by Plummer. She wants to run. Plummer, left side, Chappell, and now Valley kind of will settle back into that offense that we saw on the first possession.
Yeah, Valley has no problems holding up on the fast break and just getting into their half-court offense.
Here's Maggie Hall, kick out. Reeker wants a three, same spot Plummer hit from. That's a miss, and Imes clears the glass. Imes quickly ahead to Spraggins. Spraggins wants to go baseline. Her pass is tipped. It'll go out of bounds, and they're going to say Valley ball. From this angle, it almost looked like Valley potentially got a hand on that, but nobody seems to be too upset about the call, and it will go back to the Tigers.
If you're marking time of possession already early, Valley has the ball in their hands a lot longer. You can tell that Ames wants to score significantly quicker than Valley does, and that, frankly, is just to avoid the zone.
Here is Reeker, and she'll draw some contact as she drives in. A little bit of weave action coming back onto this near side, and I believe that's White. So White picks up 2 early fouls, and the 6-foot freshman is going to have to ride the pine for a little bit, having 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes, and it looks like Madeline Timmermans, 5'10 junior, is going to come in for her. Reeker to the free throw line, her first shot on the way. Nothing but net. Sophomore, Reeker, averaging about 11 points per game, 71% from the free throw line. Those top 3 scorers, Plummer, Honnold, and Reeker, they are reliable from all parts of the floor. As Timmermans does come in for White, and she'll probably be out there for a while, and nothing but net for Reeker on the second. And quickly a 7-2 lead for the Tigers. White gets it, goes cross court across the center timeline with Lipsy. Lipsy bobbled the pass, kicks it out. Imes open. She is a good three-point shooter and buries it there.
Well, Emery, we talked about it in the pregame. Imes is going to be one of the girls that's going to have to get going if they're going to break that zone, and right there she hits the 3 when she's called, and now it's only a 2-point game.
Reeker, a quick pull-up 3 off the dribble. That's missed, and the shortest player on the floor, Carolyn Waite, picks up the rebound, and she's going to drive down the lane. She's going to go backdoor cut, Lipsy. Good defense by Plummer, but the rebound by Lipsy, and she's going to be able to get the foul and go to the line.
Good cut by Lipsy, and even better pass by Waite. You can tell they like having the ball in her hands, because you mentioned another nice pass she had earlier in the game. She's probably the best passer that Ames has.
Yeah, her, Imes, and Lipsy all have about the same number of assists, but Waite has less turnovers. And as you can see there, she's made 2 or 3 highlight reel passes already, as the first free throw for Lipsy is good. Lipsy is 67% foul shooter, and she gets to the line way more than anybody else on the Ames roster. And that's mainly a product. She's just more of an inside player. She misses the second. She's more of an inside player than Imes typically, or Waite is typically. As Chappell fires a 3, that one missed, and that's going to bounce out of bounds to Ames.
Relatively quick possession for Valley there. Felt like she had it. But that's going to go off of the rim and out of bounds.
Here's Imes. Imes is going to one-hand pass it ahead to Waite in traffic. She's trying to get herself inside, but kicks it out to Imes. Catch and shoot 3. That one, I think, was blocked. A nice job by Honnold getting a hand on that, and it was pulled down by Chappell, and we're going the other way. Chappell with it. She'll drive. Hand it off. Maggie Hall. Just trying to work on this Ames defense a little bit. Chappell inside, finds Reeker. She'll drive, leave it for Honnold. You can see they want to run motion, and they are not rushing any shots, but Lipsy got a hand on that one, and here comes Spraggins. Spraggins all the way, blocked by Honnold. Or Chappell, my mistake, and now Honnold has it. What a job by Valley getting back defensively. There's a miss. Great pass by Chappell.
Good job by Valley there. Huge sequence, Emery. Turning the ball over because they wouldn't take a good pass or a good shot. Wanted a great, and then coming back and scoring again after the turnover.
Quickly a press break with Waite firing it ahead as she has been the entirety. I mean, so you wonder if Valley might pull back. I know Ames hasn't taken a lot of advantage of breaking the press, but they have broken the press successfully every time. As Ames lines up a three, heel of the rim, rebound pulled down by Plummer, but Waite takes it away right behind her. Kind of a wild pace here, and then another pass is knocked away, this time by Plummer, and Valley's got it again. Plummer lines up a three from the right wing and swishes it over Lipsy.
Big three there by Plummer. We'll see if Waite, you mentioned it, Emery, they're not trying to break this press usually with short passes. They're trying to just kind of chuck it over half court.
They do so again here. Here's Lipsy. She fires under the basket, finds an open. Timmermans who lays it in.
Phenomenal find by Lipsy there. From way past the three-point line all the way down into the block, off the glass and in.
I'm kind of surprised. Valley seems to be wanting to play with a little bit more pace with that full court pressure and just kind of dare Ames to try to get in a shootout. Plummer, another three. This one comes up short. Lipsy tipped the rebound, but eventually goes out off of Reeker, and it will go back over to the Little Cyclones. But Ames willing to play that pace with them. It's just, can they capitalize like they did on that last possession? And here is where, after that press break, we see Valley kind of settle in. It looks like maybe a 3-2 zone.
I think smart move by Valley here, Emery. Just settle into your zone and play defense in the half-court set rather than trying to play that full-court press.
It looks like maybe it's a semi-triangle and two. You got a couple of players kind of roaming down low. They're letting Spraggins have a wide-open look in the corner, but she's not a three-point shooter. She'll fire it anyway and miss. But Lipsy, when you're playing a half zone, nobody knows who to box out. So Lipsy gets the rebound. Spraggins a floater this time. That's missed. Rebound will be a foul on the board as Reeker was in the process of pulling it down, and I think Timmermans picked up the foul. So Timmermans gets her first, and remember, she came into the game specifically for Kennedy Waite, who, by the way, has 2 fouls already. Spraggins will come out. She'll be replaced by freshman Julia Graw, standing 5 feet 9 inches. 2:46 left in the first quarter, 12-8 Valley the lead. A little bit of a quicker, more chaotic pace than we kind of expected early, but the scoring is still fairly low considering how many possessions each team has had. Chappell with it to the top. Reeker hands it to Hall. Still no substitutions in the game for Valley to this point. Hall gives it to Reeker to the top. Plummer. She'll drive with the left hand, kick it to Chappell. Left corner three on the way. Rolls in.
And Valley, you mentioned the word methodical when you talked about their offense. That was a very methodical offensive possession by them. Passed up some good shots to get a great one, and they get the three to fall.
Here's Waite, gets to the volleyball line. And now she's just going to pull it from 25 and bury it.
Waite playing with some swag, Emery. You know, she's had a couple nice offensive possessions passing. She hits the three there. She's been very feisty on defense. She came to play tonight.
That's her first three-point attempt. She is a high-volume three-point shooter, and Hall tries to answer, can't. Rebound Timmermans. Gets it to Lipsy. And Waite wants to come get it. She does. She probes. Lipsy will get called for a moving screen. Fourth turnover by my count for Joel Sullivan's bunch. And we will get our first substitution into the game for Valley. Spraggins will come back in, by the way, for Ames. Into the game for the first time for Valley is Anna Spain, a 5'7 freshman. Also into the game is freshman Maddie Brown, a 5'7 freshman who got a lot of run toward the end of the game in the fourth quarter for her defense and in overtime for the Valley Tigers in their loss in overtime to fifth-ranked Waukee on Friday.
Yeah, Emory Valley has a very solid bench. They can go 7-8 deep and still get girls that can put some points on the board.
Look at Chappell battle for that loose ball. Reeker, little floater, lays it in. Give Chappell all the credit there, though. Chappell has 3 points, but by my count, she's got 4 assists as well. Reeker leads the way with 6 points, as does Grace Plummer for Valley. 17-11, and now you can officially say this is a high-scoring quarter for the Valley Tigers, considering the kind of pace we typically see them at, as Waite was being held on the drive by Chappell, pardon. So Chappell picks up her first. That's just the second team foul for Valley. Waite will trigger the inbound underneath the basket. I've been impressed with Valley's pace here. It's obviously they knew that Waukee on Friday, as Spraggins going to catch and shoot wide open three. That one way long. Long rebound, bounces out of bounds, and it'll stay down here with Ames. But, you know, there's a very good chance that we saw a much slower pace on both ends from Valley on Friday because they knew the explosiveness of that Waukee offense. They're basically daring Ames to kind of get into a shootout with them, thinking they can outscore them.
Yeah, interesting strategy. It's not one that we predicted Valley would come out with, but it's the one that they've chosen, and we'll see if it pays off for them. Clearly they have the lead here as we are getting almost to the end of the first quarter.
Here's Ames. finds Spraggins on a cut. That's much more her game, the slash type, but missed the shot on the floater, and Grace Plummer gets her third rebound of the first quarter. Spain, back, Reeker, deep three from about 23 feet. That was short all the way.
Another thing, Valley, they're willing to shoot those three-pointers pretty outside the line.
Just kind of trying to get his weight on the drive. What a finish with the right hand. She'll go to the free throw line for one more.
Well, Emery, I said that she came to play, and she's playing with a little bit of swagger. We see it there. Gets the finish on the hoop and the hard. We'll see if she can make it a three-point play.
On top of that, 5'3". You know she's going to be going in amongst the trees. Never going to be easy as Maggie Hall comes back in. Into the first game is, and for the first time this game is Megan Weiss, the 5'9" senior for Valley as well, replacing Reeker and Chappell. Chappell had an excellent first quarter. Waite's free throw is good. Waite over 86% on the season from the line, so no surprise there. And we'll see if Valley wants to hold for the last shot with 24 seconds remaining.
I'd imagine that's exactly what Valley is going to do. Try to set up a play in the half-court offense right before the end of the quarter and get a shot off.
Maybe extend their three-point lead. 15 seconds left. Imes guarding Plummer outside. Backdoor cut, but the ball was tipped by Imes. Kept by Maddie Brown, though. Here's Spain. 7 seconds left. Spain, kick out, Plummer. Ball fake. Three from the left wing. That's off the mark. Underneath. Waite will grab the rebound. Let time run out. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. An entertaining one. Both of these teams forget the slow pace. These two teams want to run it. And 17-14 is our first quarter score with Valley with a three-point lead. We'll take a break, come back with the second quarter after this on CISN.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore. It's cold outside and that means it's fireplace season. And you need one of the brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. They're the perfect retrofit for that old wood-burning fireplace that you're not using. You get beautiful flames, you get heat, you get easy operation, and they're all brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. Please come see us, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
We're back here. We're live from Valley High School. Emery Songer alongside the one, the only, John Hurl. By the way, happy 21st birthday, my man.
Thank you. Yeah, that was earlier here in January. Had a great time. Really thankful. Got to spend some time with family. It was awesome.
Valley basketball coming out of the first quarter break. They have a 17-14 lead. Maggie Hall with it to the top. Megan Weiss fires a three for her first shot. That's missed. And Spraggins, a good rebound, clears it out and gets it to Waite. Waite fires it ahead to Tegan Lipsey. No time at all getting into the front court here. Go ahead, John.
I was just going to point out, the shot was missed, but there was a phenomenal screen to set up that open look by Maddie Brown.
Yeah, Maddie Brown, like we talked about, for a freshman, they have a lot of trust in her. Head coach Joe Segrist had her out there for crunch time in a tight game against Waukee, a fifth-ranked Waukee team last Friday. So certainly you can tell that as Weiss comes out of the game for Valley. Honnold, Reeker, Brown out there as well as Waite a little bit off to the right on this shot. Timmerman's a good offensive rebound, and she'll get it back to Waite. Waite fires it. Spraggins cutting in, kind of lost her footing and lost it out of bounds. Everything was good there, John, except she just could not keep her feet as she was on the drive.
Yeah, great cut there by Spraggins. Ames plays very quickly in their half-court offense, while Valley, they like to use the screen a little bit more. Ames is really slashing at the basket quite a bit more as their offensive strategy.
Imes goes to the scorer's table. She'll have about all of a minute and a half's rest, depending on when the next whistle comes, and there it is, as a little hand check foul on Lipsey, and that's an interesting development as well. She now has 2 fouls. Imes in, and she will replace Lipsey. So it is Morgan Seibert, 5'6" senior out there, along with Timmermans, Imes, Spraggins, and Waite. Plummer with it at the top. Kick out. Here's Brown. Pump fake. She wants to go baseline. She lines it up for Maggie Hall. Hall banks in a three.
One thing Valley is doing a great job of early is forcing all of Ames' defense into the zone, into the paint, so that they can have open shots around the perimeter.
We talked about trying to get the ball just into somebody standing in the middle. Instead, Valley is doing a lot of ball fakes and just driving into those spaces, which is doing essentially the exact same thing, and they're finding the open player. And the bank is open for Maggie Hall here, well past 6:30 on a Tuesday. Little catch here from Ames. They're waiting for Waite to try to lose Maggie Hall. Playing a little man-to-man on her. Hall continues to probe defensively. Here's Spraggins again. You can tell they're trying to set something up for Waite here, and Hall basically face guarding her all over the floor.
This is where you kind of get into no man's land.
And Spraggins does line up a three. They've been daring her to shoot it the entire game. She missed her first couple, but right there, nothing but net. And if she can knock that down a couple more times, that'll change things, as Plummer's going to get called for a travel on this end.
Yeah, I was about to say that's no man's land when you get Waite getting face guarded and you're just stuck in that zone against Valley. That's exactly the recipe for how you break that zone. You force them to come out. Spraggins doing a nice job there when her name was called, hitting the shot.
Waite, step back, left wing three. That one's short. Honnold will take the rebound. That was Steph Curry style on the setup. Here's Plummer on the left wing. Brown, Hall rotates it to Reeker. You see Ames come out just a little bit more, playing a tighter man-to-man. Look at Waite nearly come up with a steal, still bothering Hall, and then we'll get called for a foul. That's the kind of scrappiness that got a lot of attention her direction to D1 colleges. The junior still has a year of high school basketball left, but is already committed to Bradley out of Peoria, Illinois, Missouri Valley Conference team. And she is quick defensively, gets a lot of steals, great passer, and when she is able to catch and shoot, and even off the dribble a lot of times, she can be a volume scorer.
Great amount of confidence in her game, whether it's defensively going for the steal, whether it's making the risky pass, or whether it's taking the shot. She plays with confidence in all aspects of her game.
A little miscommunication there, as it looked like they wanted, I believe that was Reeker, to go to the corner. That just did not happen, and ball goes out of bounds back to Ames. They're down 3 minutes into the second quarter. Spraggins has it outside the volleyball line. Playing kind of like a diamond in one almost kind of look. Maybe it's a triangle and two, an inverted triangle and two, as they also look like they have Brown lined up against Ames on the block. So they're man-to-man on the top two scorers for Ames right now, and we'll see, as Spraggins thought about hitting the three. Instead, they'll go down low. Ames, she is triple-teamed before she kicks it out. Cross-court pass. You can see Ames kind of exploiting the spacing. It's just they need to get the ball to a scorer or somebody who wants to do something with it. Timmermans at the free throw line finds Seibert. Not much of a scorer, but now she's going to drive and has her shot blocked by Plummer coming from the weak side help.
Yeah, Emery, that was just kind of a weird possession offensively. Ames was kind of open outside the arc, but nobody that had the ball could really stroke the three. So good job there defensively by Valley. Look for maybe a switch up in game plan by Ames.
Seibert left alone. She will fire this three. Around and out. Rebound bounces to Ames, though. Little floater from 6. No good. Rebound tipped out. Again, Ames, and this time she will finish in a foul.
Great effort play by Ames, as maybe she was a little bit bored there, Emery. Nothing really going on. She went full bore, and she's going to be at the free throw line trying to get the hoop in the heart.
You wonder why Seibert didn't want to shoot that. 1 for 11 from 3 this season. Only 11 shots in 15 games from outside the arc. She will come out here. Ireland Buss will come in for her. Also into the game for Valley. Anna Spain will come in. She'll get Reeker. But Seibert 1 for 11 coming in. Spraggins was 19%, 4 of 21. She's already had to shoot 3 or 4 of them, because those are the players that are being left open. Around and in for Ames, she's got 6. By the way, players like Tegan Lipsy, 2 for 16 from 3. Timmermans hasn't shot a 3 all season yet. So it's really a 2-person three-point shooting prowess with Waite and Ames. Everybody else really would rather not take those 3-point shots unless they absolutely have to.
Even with that being said, though, Emery, as we sit here in the middle of the second quarter, it's still a tied game.
Spraggins gets credit for the steal. Waite drives, kick out, Ames. And then back to Spraggins, and they'll set this offense back up. Again, Hall doing a great job man-to-man. Look at Spraggins all the way with the left hand, though.
That's what Spraggins wants to do. You mentioned she's not phenomenal from behind the three-point line, but she is good when she's slashing in. That's how she wants to score her points, and she gets them there to give Ames the lead.
We're keeping it here for the 30-second timeout. Ames takes their first lead of the game, 22-20. This is actually the second lead of the game. They led 2-0 very early on. But, John, generally speaking, when you take a look at Joe Segris and what he's looking at on the defensive side, he's got to be pretty happy with what he's seen with the way that Ames has been kind of stuck. The difference is they're still finding ways to capitalize with points at the end of their possessions.
Yeah, we'll see if it's sustainable, Emery, but
they're not forcing the shots, though.
They're not forcing the shots, and you mentioned he did come in with a good game plan. I think, frankly, he's keeping the ball out of the hands of the premier scorers of Ames, and when they do have the ball in their hands, he's not giving them easy looks. But Ames is just finding ways to score points where they really shouldn't be. Spraggins hitting the three from outside, but also just cutting down the middle and scoring a basket. Those are when you're not getting it from the people that you normally do. You're gonna have to find weird ways to score like that.
Valley with it. They've only scored 3 points this quarter. Good drive this time by Alex Honnold, and she'll go to the free throw line. This is Timmermans. Nope, this is Spraggins. That's her first. So that'll send Honnold to the line. 76% this season. She's 2 for 2 so far here tonight, and makes the first. I was going to say, you got to find ways to score if you're Valley now, because you've gone on a drought, had a good 17-point first quarter, but only had 3 points the entirety of the first 4.5 minutes of this second quarter. But here, getting to the free throw line is just what the doctor ordered, and Honnold makes him pay with a 2 for 2.
Made baskets allow you to get your whole defensive team back. You're not playing on your heels. And when you're trying to use the defensive strategy that Valley is, which is keeping the ball away from the other team's best player, you have to settle in the half-court defense.
And we'll see what they do as they'll rotate. Ireland Buss has it. Wade's going to try to run around some screens, but Maggie Hall staying right with her. She's done a great job keeping the ball out of Wade's hands with this defensive set. Now Wade comes and does get it, gets a couple of screens, loses Hall for a moment, but can't make the three. Long rebound, Plummer grabs it and fires it to Honnold.
You can tell she was itching to shoot the ball, Emery. As soon as she got a chance, she put one up.
Brown does an excellent job saving that. I have no idea how she was able to track that down on the fast break pass, but the freshman keeps the possession alive for the Tigers and crashed into the stands. She looks like she's all right. Honnold goes in, same spot she got fouled last time, up and under, lost her footing, and then threw it right at Ames, who gets the steal. Oh, look at Wade finding Buss. Buss, I don't know if she was ready for it, and it's on the floor, and it'll be a jump ball. Wade did a great job kind of working herself around the baseline and then try to get it to the freshman Ireland Buss, but she just could not handle the little pocket pass, and then Wade did a good job forcing the jump ball to keep it down here with his little Cyclones. By the way, Seibert comes back in for Buss.
Yeah, Wade, a nice little hesitation move there to create a little bit of space as we're going to get another three-point shot.
Spraggins continues to be left alone, and she has shown that she is willing to shoot it if that's the case, as Hall, coast to coast. Maggie Hall.
Weird play there going off the defender there. She tried to pass the ball, bounced right back to her. Reminds you of Marcus Mariota.
Yep.
Puts the shot off the glass and in.
She won't get an assist for that, but might as well have. And it's 24-22 as Valley retakes the lead. Seibert, we mentioned, now 1 for 12 this season shooting threes, so they'll leave her alone as well from out there. It's really they just don't want 4 or 42 to touch the ball and be open, and that is Wade and Ashley Imes. It's a wide pass from Spraggins, but Seibert tracks it down. Brown is face guarding Imes as this pass to Timmermans is poked away by Plummer. Here comes Honnold. Pump fake, nicely done.
Honnold, I get the sense that Honnold kind of wants to take the game over. She's really requesting the ball. She's trying to take shots. She, I think, senses where the game is at, obviously 26-22. She wants to show that Valley can really run away with this game if they want to.
That was a mental mistake as Wade crossed the timeline and then left it behind the timeline for Spraggins, and both Spraggins and Wade just look at each other and just look up to the sky and say, wow. That's the kind of mistake you don't want to make against an opponent like this, and now Valley getting things going a little bit, and a foul is going to be called. It'll be Seibert for the slap, not on Spraggins underneath, so that's just the first for Seibert, and that would have been the second for Spraggins, so that's a break there for Ames, but it will send Plummer to the free throw line for the first time tonight. She is 77% from there this season, and she makes the first.
The drought breaker, Emery, has kind of been the free throw line. We mentioned they put up 17 in the first quarter. Obviously, only 10 points so far here in the second quarter. Second shot's up and in, but it's really been the free throw line that's started getting them going offensively.
A couple of bad turnovers by Ames as well. That over and back is obviously one that's an unforced error, and then the pass that was knocked away down here that led to the Honnold fast break. Valley on a little 8-0 run since Ames had a 2-point lead. Imes does get a touch here, but Brown's still suffocating her with the defense. Now they switch. Cross-court pass, Seibert with it. Again, not an outside shooter, so Valley is willing to just dare her to shoot that, and then a miscommunication as Seibert throws it away. 3 turnovers on 3 straight possessions, and so far it's led to 4 Valley points, and we'll see what they can do here with 43 seconds left and maybe even run this clock out.
Well, and Valley is putting him in that zone, and the people on the outside near the top of the key, those aren't the perennial shooters on the team. And Ames has been almost a non-factor because she's just down in the block, not able to get the ball.
Great job by Ames getting a fingertip on that pass, knocking it off of Plummer. It was just enough to affect its trajectory, but still enough to where it bounced off of Valley's Plummer. So it goes out. Bus comes in. Lipsy comes back in. Seibert and Timmermans take a seat, and with 30 seconds left, I would be surprised if Valley didn't run this all the way down. Wait, over to Lipsy. Now with Lipsy in the game, you got to have a little bit more respect for her slashing and finishing ability inside, so you have to give her more attention than was being given to some of the other bench players for Ames. Here's Wait to Imes, over to Bus. Bus bounces it to Lipsy, 12 seconds now. Here's Wait. Pump fake, back to Lipsy. They will dare Lipsy to shoot the three, and she'll take a long two, and it won't go down. Plummer with the rebound, 2 seconds. Can Honnold get the half-court shot up? She does, but it will be well short, and that'll be the end of the first half. Valley closes on an 8-0 run to take a 28-22 lead. We'll take a halftime break, and when we come back, we'll give you the halftime stats and what both teams need to do if they want to pull this one out right after this on CISN.
People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords. During the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges. And up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise, and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game, Shields.
Back here at Valley High School, the Valley High School dance team doing a performance at halftime of the girls' game. Our score at the half, Valley 28, Ames 22. Emery Songer, John Hurl here, Central Iowa Sports Network for you. And the first half, interesting. Both teams pretty balanced. Valley won both quarters by 3 points each, but it was getting a little sketchy there midway through that second quarter, Jot, when Ames ended up taking a 22-20 lead, and Valley did a good job of finishing on a high note, but you can tell Ames has done a pretty good job of not doing anything crazy. They turned the ball over quite a few times, which allowed Valley back into the game, and eventually, not back into the game, it was always a game, but to allow Valley to go on that 8-0 run to finish the first half. But outside of those turnovers, if you don't turn the ball over there, I thought they'd done a good job, and I know Spraggins shot probably 3 more threes than she ever wants to shoot in a game, but she was open. She has made one of them, and Caroline Waite and Ashley Imes have just not been afforded the looks based on the great defense by the Valley Tigers.
Well, Emery, we came into today's game knowing that Valley wanted to maybe slow things down, maybe play a bit more methodical. What really happened there when Ames was going on a run is they were making Valley uncomfortable. They weren't letting Valley score on the offensive side the way that they wanted to. They were poking at the ball a little bit, messing up passing lanes, tipping passes in. offensively, Ames was playing much more quickly than I think Valley wanted to. When Valley settled a little bit more, when they got to the free throw line, when they were able to score a little bit more slowly, that is when they came back. That is when they erased that 2-point deficit that they had, and that's when they built the 6-point lead that they took at halftime.
Well, like we said coming in, we felt like Valley was probably, even though they're ranked one spot lower than Ames is ranked 12th, Valley's 13th, but it's a home game for Valley, and Valley's defense tends to translate a little bit more than outside shooting does, and that has been the case for Ames so far in the game. But if you look at the statistics, Caroline Waite with 6 points, Ashley Imes with 6 points. Other than that, 5 for Brooke Spraggins, who you think the way that they're leaving her open, she's going to have to continue to have a big half. And Tegan Lipsy and Kennedy White both were saddled with a couple of fouls each. They didn't really have a chance to get involved in the offense hardly at all through that first half, so maybe they could make a factor once they get back into the game as well. Lipsy had 3 points in the first half, and Madeline Timmermans off the bench had 2.
Yeah, I'd look at Lipsy as a player to watch in the second half. Like you mentioned, she had to ride the bench a little bit with some foul trouble early on in the first quarter, but in the second half, she's hungry to get hers. She's a 10-plus points per game player, and I don't expect her to go quietly in this one. I think she'll have an impact on the second half. Whether or not that impact will be good enough for Ames to take over Valley's lead will remain to be seen, but Lipsy is definitely somebody that you're going to want to keep an eye on in the second half.
On the other side for the Valley Tigers, Joe Segrist's team did a great job of finishing and closing, getting some turnovers. They forced a couple of them. There was one, that backcourt violation, and then an out-of-bounds pass that went straight out of bounds by Valley that were unforced errors. But offensively, Grace Plummer leads the way with 8 points, 6 each for Alex Honnold and Meredith Reeker. Honnold really was kind of the player that started taking the game over a little bit from the Spanish point of Valley late in that first half. And then Maggie Hall had 5 as well. And Hall's defense on Waite, and then Maddie Brown's defense off the bench on Ashley Imes. That's been the biggest part of the success, especially late in the first half for the Valley Tigers.
It really is. I mean, give credit to Maggie Hall. She is playing just so much effort. Face guarding takes everything out of you,
especially on a quick player like that.
Especially on a quick player like that. It takes everything out of you as a player, and the fact that she has just done such a good job in that first half. Now, the question is, do you have the stamina to keep it up in the second? Because that is a very intense way to play defense, and it, like I mentioned, it takes a lot out of you. It's very energy consuming. Also, I would love to highlight Maddie Brown. Not only has she been getting it done defensively at guarding Imes, but she sets some of the best screens out of any Valley player on the offensive side, getting her teammates open. Hard to believe she's just a freshman. I expect a lot from her in the future, and she's playing basketball the way that, frankly, you can't take her off the court, because not only is she doing it on the defensive side, she's doing it on the offensive side, and it's all selfless.
And she didn't even start. She came off the bench, but we talked about it. She was playing crunch time minutes against Waukee, the 5th-ranked team in the state, for those reasons on Friday, and she was out there for a lot more than she wasn't out there in that first half. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have the second half for you. 13th-ranked Valley leading 12th-ranked Ames 28-22 in girls basketball right here on CISN.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving northwest and central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
The two teams are out on the floor, and we're excited for what we have in the second half. 28-22, 13th ranked Valley leading 12th ranked Ames by 6 points. Emory Songer, John Hurl, CISN coverage. We'll of course have plenty of more basketball after this with the boys matchup. The Valley Tigers coming off the biggest win of anybody's had in the state in the 2019-2020 boys basketball season in Class 4A, having upset top-ranked Waukee, who's was unbeaten going into that game. And they're coming into this game looking to try to keep that positive momentum against an Ames team that's still trying to kind of capitalize on their identity, while Taman Lipsey, their very highly touted prospect, is out nursing an ACL injury. The sophomore won't play this year, but we'll be looking to try to come back next year even stronger. But John, just real quick, one key to the game for each team. Let's start with the Ames Little Cyclones.
Well, the Ames Little Cyclones is if Valley's going to keep playing you defensively that way, you're going to have to find perimeter shooting. I think that sounds a lot like a job for Tegan Lipsey. I expect her to be on the court because you're less concerned about fouls in the second half. I think that she's going to be a key. For Valley, you have this lead. Just nurse the lead, nurse the clock. You're very comfortable playing slow. We've mentioned that 1,000 times tonight. Play slow. You have the lead coming out of the half. Score methodically. Play good defense like you have, and just let the clock run out.
Good shots, right? You don't need to worry about rushing up a shot clock, like a last-minute shot against a shot clock, because there is no shot clock. You could literally run your offense until you get the shot you want, and they've done that, and they do it very, very well. They take good care of the basketball. Both these teams are 8-7 right now. If you look at the strength of schedule, they both have two of the toughest. Third-ranked strength of schedule for Valley, sixth-ranked strength of schedule for Ames. So they've played some tough teams, but they're playing each other tough right now as Valley has it. Shooting on a right hoop, wearing the white uniforms trimmed in black with a little bit of orange. It is Maggie Hall with it right now on the right wing to the top. Maddie Brown does start the second half for the Valley Tigers. She gets it over to Alex Honnold. Back to Hall, little weave action. Hall back to Grace Plummer. Plummer over into the corner. Here's a three. Maggie Hall off the glass, that's missed. The rebound taken by Honnold. She tries a step through and gets the roll.
Good play there by Honnold. And what you mentioned already, the freshman Maddie Brown, she starts the second half. All she does, just watch her on the court. She just sets screens everywhere for her teammates.
Gets them open. Here's Lipsey out there for Ames, wearing the orange uniforms trimmed in black, a little bit of white. Brooke Spraggins at the top, outside the arc. She's going to drive to her left. Cross court, finds Lipsey. They left her alone on the zone. An excellent pass from Spraggins setting up Lipsey.
That's a bit what they were missing in the first half, and right there, early on, she gets herself involved.
Yeah, she did have 2 fouls, missed about half of that first half. Kennedy White, who's out there as well, played about 2 minutes before she had foul trouble, and Grace Plummer buries a three. She's the first player from either side in double figures with 11. Wait. Into the front court, gets to Spraggins. Spraggins, left-hand probe, finds Lipsey underneath. Again, a lot of contact, no foul called. Lipsey battling for the rebound, eventually will get it, and then fire it to the top to Imes. That was another good pass. This one, Imes well short, and Waite can't save it before it hits the outside, the end line. But got to give credit to Spraggins. It's back-to-back possessions with excellent passes. Lipsey was underneath the hoop. There was some contact, didn't get a call, but you kind of like where that Ames offense is going without Waite or Imes having to touch the ball.
Yeah, they're not afraid to pass the ball inside the paint at all. They take some risky passes underneath. It's paid off a couple times so far in tonight's game.
Outside, Alex Chappell. Haley Chappell, my mistake. Grace Plummer with it on the elbow. Haley Chappell with it. She'll drive with the left hand. Thought about the backdoor cut to Honnold. Instead, they'll kick it out. Plummer, another three. Not this time around and out. Maddie Brown gets the offensive board. Can't get the putback, though. And then Tegan Lipsey picks up the board. Quickly ahead. Here's Spraggins. Power dribble, left-hand layup. Good pass by Imes.
Great find by Imes there off the pass to Spraggins. Awesome job there by Ames, scoring quickly in the fast break.
Plummer with it on the left wing. This is high-quality girls basketball. I don't know about you, but I'm enjoying every second of this. Here's Chappell in the corner to the elbow. Brown settles it down with Maggie Hall. Hall having to work so hard on the defensive end. We'll see how much energy he even has to give it to the offense. Not necessarily a big-time scorer, so they can kind of rest her on offense so she can guard Waite one-on-one on the other end. Here's Hall. She'll drive, kick it out to Chappell. Again, Valley, a slow, methodical offensive possession. That's a tough shot by Honnold in traffic. And Brown again finds a way to pull away the offensive rebound.
Great hustle play by Brown there. You have to love that as a head coach.
She's doing all the elbow greasy work. Gotta love a player like that that's a freshman, just doing all the tough stuff. Plummer has it poked away by Lipsy from behind. Here comes Waite. Lob for Lipsy, running out of real estate and won't be able to save it. Again, Ames, it's a little bit out of control, but you can tell they want the tempo to be high.
Well, and they want to score quick, Emory. They're behind. They are racing against the clock a little bit. It's 33-26, and you know that Valley can just hold the ball on you there. I mean, yeah, Valley didn't score at the end of the possession. They wasted about 30 seconds off the clock.
Here is Chappell. Or Honnold rather, and she'll pull up from mid-range and knock it down. She's in double figures with 10, and that's the kind of Valley balance we talk about. Plummer with 11, Honnold with 10, 6 from Reeker, 5 from Hall. They're doing a lot of different things. That shot missed on the drive with Waite, and then Honnold gets the rebound, and she has no problem pushing it ahead herself. Here's a 3, Plummer, big-time shot.
Valley's top 2 scorers are taking over a little bit. Plummer with her second three-pointer of the half. Puts Valley up 38-26.
Yeah, Joel Sullivan needs a timeout. Now all of a sudden it's a dozen. We'll take a break with them. 4:19 left, third quarter. Valley asserting their dominance now, 38-26 over Ames right here on CISN.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore. It's cold outside, and that means it's fireplace season. And you need one of the brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. They're the perfect retrofit for that old wood-burning fireplace that you're not using. You get beautiful flames, you get heat, you get easy operation, and they're all brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. Please come see us, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
Welcome back. It's Valley High School, 38-26. Valley all of a sudden has exploded on a little 10-4 run to get this third quarter underway. 4:19 left in the third quarter, and with that, John Hurl, a 12-point lead. Can Ames get back into this thing against this Valley defense?
Well, they've been missing Ames a little bit. She's just had such good defense played against her that she hasn't really been able to get going. Only 6 points so far tonight, and she's usually a much bigger factor, as they are going to get a tip there, so it's not an over and back. But maybe try to more intentionally get the ball to her and go at Brown the freshman.
Oh, look at Lipsy. What an excellent steal. Spraggins left alone for 3. Can't make it. Kennedy White, offensive board. Putback is missed. Did everything right there except get points. And that, John Hurl, is the name of the game. He's getting points. Imes had thrown it away. I mean, right at Valley defender. Reeker, she got the steal but had it taken immediately away from her. But White, even though it was an excellent rebound on the offensive glass, just could not get the putback to fall. Reeker, left corner 3 on the way. That one is short. Spraggins comes up with the board.
Seems like Ames is responding a little bit to the three-pointers that have been made early in this one. They're playing that zone, or they're playing defense a bit closer to the three-point line now.
Waite fires a pull-up 3. Can't get that one to fall. Plummer quickly ahead to Hall. Hall pump fake. Right hand. Yes. Maggie Hall has played an excellent game as well. We give Maddie Brown a ton of credit for what she's done defensively on Imes and setting the screens offensively, offensive rebounds. But Hall's done the same thing on Caroline Waite, and then also has 7 points to boot.
Well, and we talked about they go really deep in terms of scoring. That's going to be a nice 3 there by Lipsy, making her presence known.
That was a huge, you needed a shot made there. As Plummer wants the answer, short, and Lipsy another rebound. You can tell what she brings to the table when she's out there. That pass is a little strong. Good save, though, by Spraggins. Kick out, Imes wide open 3, and she hits.
Absolutely weird offensive possession there, Emory, because the save pass drops right in the hands of Lipsy, and she's able to swing it over to Imes for the nice three-pointer.
It was a great job by Spraggins saving that wild pass from Lipsy on the fast break, and then Lipsy to come up with it and find the open Imes, who puts it in. Hall drives, draws a foul, and 1. How about Maggie Hall?
And just when Ames was starting to feel a little bit good about themselves after back-to-back three-pointers, Hall comes in and maybe gets a three-point play of her own. Wow, Emery, I would think, I guess me personally, I would think you'd be way too gassed playing the crazy defense that she is face guarding Wade on the defensive side to be able to score offensively, but she's able to do it, and she's doing a great job so far.
White out, Graw in. Julia Graw comes in for Ames. Hall averages 3 points per game, shoots at about 28% from the floor, does not typically have to be relied on for scoring, and she does miss the free throws. Imes collects the rebound, but she's got 9 points already in this game, on top of the great man-to-man defense she's played on Waite the entire game. Here's Graw, left alone. She'll shoot a three from the right wing. That one a little short. Lipsy, another offensive rebound.
Lipsy has long arms. When she rises up, she's able to come out with some rebounds. She gets her hands in the passing lanes. She's definitely, like I said, made her presence known here in the second half.
She has 8 points already in this third quarter. 42-34. Here's Honnold, and she is fouled. That's tough because it almost looked like there was going to be a traveling call on Honnold as she was preparing for the contact, but instead Lipsy picks up her third. And that could be, that could be an interesting storyline, but I don't think at this point Joel Sullivan can afford to take her off the floor. His team down by 8. And they're going to give it a shooting foul here on Honnold as well, so just an overall bad break there on the baseline for Ames. Honnold swishes the first.
And Plummer, she had quite a few points in that first half, but this half it seems like they're playing the offense a little bit more around her. She has the ball in her hands a bit more often than she did in that first half, and she's facilitating the offense more, which could be the reason that Valley's had a bit more success offensively in the second half.
2 for 2 for Honnold. 44-34, as here's Waite. Waite drives, little floater in traffic. No, Honnold, she shows off her long arms. That's her fourth rebound. Quickly the other way, here's Chappell. A 10-point lead likely is a safe one if you can continue the offensive pressure, and then a late whistle from two different officials as Plummer on the drive is going to get fouled, and who's this one on? And this one's going to be on Graw. So Graw gets her first, but it'll be free throws here for Plummer, who's 2 for 2 at the free throw line. So Ames, couple of threes back-to-back, felt like momentum might be swinging a little bit in their favor, but Valley immediately comes down, gets a couple of buckets, free throws. The three-point play from Hall was obviously a huge one as Plummer missed the first free throw. Honnold will come out for a rare rest. She will be replaced by Anna Spain, another freshman. Plummer makes the second. She's got 15. And now Maddie Brown, who was out for a short time, she'll come back in, and she'll replace Haley Chappell. That's how they're keeping them fresh. I mean, just little minute-long rests at a time, and then they got to get those players back out there as Brown immediately goes back to Imes, and Hall continues to face guard Waite. A little backdoor cut, good one-handed catch by Spraggins. Her pass to Lipsy is knocked out, and it will stay down here with Ames. You can see Spraggins also has some really adept passing ability, and it isn't afraid to try to fit it into small windows.
Yeah, we already mentioned her slashing, but she is able to kind of throw the ball in, especially on those tight windows down underneath the paint.
Here's Spraggins on the right wing. Imes coming off a couple of screens, gets it. She wants to go one-on-one here with Brown. Gets a screen from Spraggins, doesn't use it, finds Graw wide open. She already missed a three. Her cross-court pass finds Lipsy. Now Spraggins down low. Block to Graw. It's a great pass again by Spraggins, and then an excellent job by Spain, knocking it off of Waite, and it'll go back to Valley. A lot of things to like about that possession. Unfortunately for Valley, couldn't get points, but a great job unfortunately for Ames, they couldn't get points, but Valley, an excellent job of continuing to play defense and the rotations after the defense kind of got broken down.
Another great block pass by Spraggins inside. Unfortunately, they can't get it to go if you're Ames, but man, you can just tell Imes really wants to get going offensively. Brown just doing such a good job, though.
Imes gets a piece of that one. It stays on the end line here. It'll be underneath the basket. 45-34, 11-point lead for Valley. I mean, if Ames would have been able to make a couple of those in-close shots here in this third quarter, we still have a very tight game. As the inbound comes to Spain, she'll get it to Reeker against a full-court pressure now that Ames is showing. Here's Hall, gets it across the timeline, now gets it over to Plummer. Plummer cross-court to Reeker. Reeker back to Hall. 39 seconds left. Ball tipped by Spraggins. She'll get the steal. She'll hand it off. Imes walks it into the front court. Back to Spraggins. Now Waite. Waite gets a screen. Not a great screen. Now Imes kind of sets one for her. She'll go all the way to the right wing to Spraggins, and it looks like Ames will settle it down here. Timmermans over to Lipsy. 15 seconds left. Now Lipsy down on the block, kick out, Spraggins. Getting a little closer to her outside since she's shown a willingness
set
to
a
shoot
play
it.
up here, only 5 seconds left.
Imes, backdoor cut. Lipsy a good find, and the finish by Imes, and that'll do it for the end of the period. So Ames gets the bucket they need, but again, 3-point difference in the quarter. Valley wins the quarter by 3, and they have a 9-point lead, 45-36. You're listening and watching. It's the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords during the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges and up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
45-36, 13th ranked Valley with a 9-point lead. Ames has the basketball to start out this fourth quarter. It will be Lipsy, Waite, Spraggins, Timmermans, and Imes. And Ames going to have to try to come up with some offense. Each of the first 3 quarters, Valley has outscored Ames by a total of 3 points. But after 3 quarters, that has added up to the 9-point difference, as for the second time it was 17-14 in favor of Valley. Ames did a good job just weathering the storm for the quarter, but they need to actually have a big quarter and have a good defensive quarter as well if they're going to try to come back and force this game at least into overtime and maybe even win. Imes try to fit a pass into a small area to Waite. Waite just kind of looks at her like, I was moving in there, but you didn't have to pass it to me. And it'll stay down here with Ames.
Well, we talk about Ames, they're willing to kind of take a risky pass inside like that. As
Lipsy misses the 3. Rebound loose, and Honnold comes up with it underneath. And she is fouled. That's Lipsy's 4th, I believe.
Honnold's a pretty dynamic player, Emery, because she's kind of an in-betweener in terms of size. She's not overly big, but she has a good amount of length. She can almost play any position on the court. She did a good job there getting the rebound, going coast to coast, and then forcing the foul.
That foul was actually on Ashley Imes. That's her first, so no problem with the foul trouble situation there. We'll see how patient Valley wants to be, as that was a 40-second possession for Ames that didn't result in a made field goal. Here's a backdoor cut. Chappell, kick out. Plummer wants the 3. That one's short. Chappell got a hand on it, but it will be Imes who clears it and will push it ahead herself. No Maddie Brown on the floor to face guard. It'll be Chappell that'll be picking up those responsibilities. Here's Timmermans, now to Imes. Imes finds Spraggins underneath. That's a great pass by Imes.
Awesome find by Imes. Spraggins scoring where she wants to, which is inside.
9 points now for Spraggins, and second assist in the game for Imes. 6:40 left. Another stop here and another bucket. It's just a 2-possession game, but they got to get a stop here defensively. Plummer working on Imes, picks up the dribble, kick out. Chappell will fire a 3. Huge shot for Haley Chappell.
Great time for Chappell to come alive here in the fourth quarter, a minute and a half in, and that shot felt big when it happened, Emery.
Absolutely, and a full timeout called by Valley as they want to set the defense and try to get their game plan figured out. We'll take a quick break with them. 10-point lead for Valley with about 6 minutes left here in the fourth quarter right here on CISN.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
48-38 Valley. Haley Chappell with her biggest shot of the night. She's got 8 points. And just like that, it's back up to 10. If Valley would not have scored on that possession, Ames starting to get a little more of an offensive rhythm, very well could have found themselves with a made bucket, getting it within a 2-possession game. And then with 6 minutes left, anything can happen from there. But the big 3 makes it a 10-point game. I like what I've seen for both teams in this game, John, but it just seems like Valley's defensive strategy, which has really limited Waite. Waite only has 6 points. Ames has now 11 points, but we talked about it. Those two need to have big games, and Waite just has not been able to get free, and you got to give a ton of credit to not only the game plan from Valley, but the individual effort by Maggie Hall defensively.
Yeah, we forecasted a pretty tight one, only a 10-point game here right now. We forecasted a pretty tight game. A lot of the game has felt like these teams are somewhat evenly matched, but when you look at the scoreboard, Valley's just doing 3 points better each quarter, and that leads to the lead. Down low to Lipsy. Waite was closed out beautifully by Hall. Spraggins, little floater inside. No. Lipsy, yet another offensive rebound. I believe that's 4 in this half alone. Here's Waite. Spraggins left all alone. Basically has to fire that shot. And then there's going to be a foul on Ireland Buss on the rebound, I believe. I mean, Spraggins is not a good three-point shooter, but she has been left all alone to shoot some wide open ones. And down by 10 points, and you're that wide open, and if you have any confidence at all in your shot, you have to let that one rip, I think.
It's not a bad shot at all, Emery. You're down 10 points. Obviously, she has missed some three-pointers in this game. She also made one.
Yeah.
So you have to take that shot if you're that open.
With the 10-point lead, by the way, that was Ireland Buss who got called for the foul. The freshman picked up her first. That's the 5th team foul for Ames. Valley yet to commit one, and that's a tough break for Waite. She was basically just trying to play good defense, and almost looked like Chappell gave her a little forearm shiver to the ground, but she was the one who picks up the foul, and for Waite, that's number 2.
Well, it feels like we're saying it every week, Emery, but no shot clock in Iowa high school basketball.
You can run the clock.
Hold the ball as long as you want to. Ames, you're seeing more aggressive defense be played by the little Cyclones, but, hold the ball for your Valley.
They're going to get Lipsy on that foul. They almost had a steal cleanly there, but Coach Joel Sullivan and the Ames coaching staff kind of rolls their head knowing that they were very close to being able to get the steal, but instead Lipsy, who's been a key player to them staying in the game here in this second half, now she's got 4 fouls. It's a 1-and-1 for Chappell. Her front end rolls in.
And obviously no choice but to keep Lipsy out there even with those 4 fouls. Well, I would think you would. It looks like they're going to check a couple of people in, but 5:30 left in the fourth. Down 11 points. You got to give your best players in there.
Second one's missed. Chappell, by the way, has 7 points in the game. I misspoke earlier. She's got 7 after the made free throw. Here's Spraggins. Won't take this open 3. Tries to set a screen. Waite doesn't want it. Now kick to Spraggins. One dribble. Goes cross court to Lipsy. She'll slash in. Mid-ranger was blocked by Reeker, but a rebound by Lipsy. Gets it back to Buss, but she can't do anything with it, and Reeker cleans up the rebound. It basically feels at this point that unless Waite or Ames can hit a couple of threes here, Valley is going to maintain possession for a long time and try to at least get to the free throw line. But 11 points, that's going to be tough for Ames to come back from even if they don't score again. All the way, Reeker, no good, but Honnold on the weak side, nobody boxed her out, and she lays it in on the putback.
Man, I thought that was a really nice attempt there by Spraggins to try to draw the foul on that on the charge, but ref's not biting.
And it's 51-38. This equals the largest lead for Valley at 13 points. Imes pulls up right over Chappell, but that one doesn't draw any iron, and it will be over to Valley.
And she wasn't necessarily open, Emery, but that's not a bad shot. You're down this much. You're one of the best shooters on the teams in Iams. You have to make an effort to try to get your team back in this game. You have to take shots like that. That's not a bad shot.
So Lipsy and Buss both come out, at least for the time being. It is Kennedy White, who's played very low minutes because of foul trouble and other factors in this game. She's out there, and also Julia Graw entered the game as well for Ames. Here's Maggie Hall, an unsung hero of this game for Valley for sure. And with 4 minutes left and a 13-point lead, Chappell willing to run a lot of clock outside. They're asking White to try to get on her, elicit maybe 5 seconds. Got to get closer. There's the 5 seconds. The referee with the count with the arm. But as long as the ball keeps moving and they keep getting a little bit of space, that doesn't matter. And without the shot clock, here we are.
Valley just showing how well they can dribble around. This is a test of how fundamental your players are. Can you keep the possession of the ball late in the game? Can you make good crisp passes, dribble the ball well? This is a fundamentals drill right here when you're trying to waste clock.
Yeah, a little game of keep away, but they've done a great job of keeping it in the middle of the floor and not getting stuck in a corner. Hall does pick up her dribble, though, and then immediately Coach Joe Segrist says that's what we don't want, and we're going to call a timeout. So we'll take a break, too. 3:11 left here in the fourth quarter. Valley comfortably ahead 51-38 over Ames right here on CISN.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down, Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee, WaukeeChevy.com.
It's been a fundamental display in the second half for Valley on both ends of the floor. They haven't committed a defensive foul. They've played tight defense. Ames giving them credit. They have found ways to score, whether in transition or in the half court. But Valley has done it just a little bit at a higher clip, a little bit more efficient clip, and now has possessed the ball for over a minute here on this possession. After that timeout, they have it. Morgan Seibert into the game now. As this is kind of in the middle, but good job by Reeker tracking it down so there's no steal. Here's Maggie Hall. Hall, backdoor cut, Honnold loses it, lands out of bounds. It'll go to Ames, but they did kill over a minute and a half on that possession.
Yeah, great job. And I want to mention Maggie Hall. You talked about her. You mentioned the word unsung hero. That's absolutely true. You go back to the first quarter, think about how we were talking about Waite. She had a couple nice plays. She had a three-pointer. She had a three-point play at the line. She was playing with a lot of swagger. All of that stopped as soon as Hall got put on her. That's not to say Waite's not a good player, because she is. That's just to point out how effort-filled the defensive play was by Hall in this game.
Honnold gets a hand on that. Reeker cleans it up and goes all the way for the lay-in. Honnold's third steal of the game. You know, it looked like Reeker had the steal, but Honnold got a piece of that ball, which allowed her to grab it and go on the fast break. I'm shot blocked by Chappell, and Plummer comes out of there with the rebound. How about Haley Chappell at 5'6", getting a block on the taller Imes? And now we're back to the keep-away drill. 15-point lead. This is the largest of the game for Valley, 53-38. Coach Joel Sullivan and his team, I think they executed about as well as they wanted to on both ends. They just couldn't make enough shots, and you have to give a ton of credit to Joe Segrist, as there's going to be an offensive foul on Reeker for an illegal screen. And that's the first foul on Valley the entire second half. But how about Joe Segrist's decision about late in that first quarter? Maddie Brown, who's not in the game right now, but Maddie Brown was face guarding and preventing Ashley Armstrong getting it going, as there's going to be a foul. That's going to be whistled on Hall. By the way, that's her first foul, and she's been face guarding Carolyn Waite the entire game. So it's been Hall and Brown, unsung heroes defensively, as Waite catches, thought about the shot, pump fake, can't get it off. That's her short stature. When you got a longer player like Hall on her, she's not going to be able just to rise up and shoot it over her, as Graw's got it over to Lipsy. Now under 100 seconds left, and that pass in the middle stolen by Alex Honnold. And then the foul in the backcourt on Imes, and it'll be free throws on the other end. I'm just telling you this, John Hurl. The record says 8-7 for this Valley team, but I would not want to see them at any point in the playoffs.
Well, Emery, that's 8-7 against the third toughest schedule in all of Class 5A. So, you know, if they're playing a schedule in the 20s or 30s, they're going to have a couple more wins. Of course, you're 100% correct. The one word comes to mind with this Valley team: fundamental. We're seeing this in the way that they're playing the keep away here, trying to burn clock. We're seeing it in the way that they're playing defense. They don't foul very often. They don't turn the ball over very often. They're just really solid, and when they get a little bit of a lead, they have a way of just wasting away seconds on the clock whenever they want to.
Valley was famous a few years ago. They were in an overtime game at the state tournament and held the ball for the entirety of the 4 minutes of overtime and then took a shot at the end to win it. Brooke Spraggins gets the bucket. She's in double figures with 11. A quick foul here, 53-40, still a 13-point lead. Spraggins has played a pretty darn good game, too. I know she's missed a bunch of threes, but she's being dared to shoot them based on the defense that Valley was playing. By the way, that missed free throw by Honnold on the other end on the front end of the 1-and-1, that's her first missed free throw of the game. She was 6 for 6 otherwise. She has 14 points in the game. The balance they have offensively, the way that they can play you defensively with even some of their secondary players as Plummer gets the bounce. She's got 16.
And they do a good job getting to the line, and when they do get to the line, they make them.
They make them. On the season, they are 67%, but all the players that are going to the line in this game are well over 70%. And she's 2 for 2 is Plummer, 17 for her. She's 5 for 6 at the line. 55-40, 15-point lead here for the Tigers. Ames with the basketball. Waite pulls back, gets some separation, and buries the three. Her first made field goal since the first quarter.
We were waiting on Waite, and she comes back here. It might be a little bit too late, however, but, you know, she's a good player. I like watching her a lot. She, like I mentioned, just swagger is the word I keep coming back to with Waite, because that's what she has. Unfortunate for her that she couldn't get it going a little bit more offensively. You know, give all the credit to Maggie Hall. But Waite's going to be a really fun player to watch next year in high school and then in the future as well.
Yeah, already committed to Bradley, Missouri Valley Conference School, so she'll be playing Division I, big-time college basketball as well. Waite stands 5 foot 3 inches. Maggie Hall stands 5 feet 7, and that 4 inches certainly makes a difference. Hall also has pretty long arms as well, and she is quick on her feet. She has done an excellent job of flanking Waite everywhere she's gone on the floor. Followed her around as she was trying to kind of do the Reggie Miller or Steph Curry or Klay Thompson thing where, you know, you just try to get her from one side to the other, set a couple of screens, wear out the defender. I don't think we've seen Maggie Hall come out of the game for more than a couple of seconds at a time. And it's been absolutely imperative that she's been out there, because if Waite were to have gotten going at any point in this game, we could be looking at a completely different score.
Well, you look at Ames, they came into this game averaging 54.5 points. Right now they sit at 43. That's a recipe for success if you're Valley.
When Valley held Waukee to 48 points and then 38 points in their 2 games within this season, I can tell you this. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better defensive team as Waite almost had the steal. Plummer's able to track it down, and then they're going to commit a foul. That's tough luck for Waite, who did everything right there except be able to maintain possession of the ball and we'll have free throws on the other end.
Well, and we've been talking about the Valley players, but also give some credit to the coaching staff. Valley came in with a really, really good game plan to shut down exactly what Ames wanted to do tonight. They knew the players that they needed to stop. They coached their girls very, very well, not only on the fundamentals, dribbling, passing, not turning the ball over, but strategy as well. Just doing a good job keeping the ball out of the hands of the best players on the other team. They came in with a great game plan, executed it well, and frankly, they deserve the win for that.
Yeah, Joel Sullivan did everything he could to try to get other players involved, and players that don't typically shoot threes were trying to shoot threes and trying to get them into the game, and they played pretty tight within the entire game as Plummer makes both free throws. Julia Graw will come in, 53 seconds left. She'll replace Morgan Seibert, who actually picked up that foul. It's a 14-point Valley lead. But that's the thing, too. If you're Joel Sullivan, you have to like your players' effort. It was close most of this game. Another step-back three from Waite. This one in and out. And Chappell, another shorter player at 5'6", able to pull down the rebound in traffic. Here's Brown, throws it ahead and gets it to Reeker. And with 35 seconds left, she'll get it over to Plummer. Plummer to Brown on the inside. She'll kick it back out. And it looks like they'll be just fine holding the ball. They'll have to dribble it around as Ames is going to try to elicit a 5-second call. Hand off to Brown. Brown dribbles. Has the trap, goes cross-court to Reeker. Less than 20 seconds left. This is a good win for Valley. But they did not outscore Ames by any more than 5 points in any one given quarter. It wasn't huge spurts. It was just kind of methodical as the game moved on. As the game continued, they were able to wear them down and never let Ames get closer than 8 points after they opened the lead to double digits early on in that third quarter. Final score, 57-43. Valley picks up the win in a matchup between 2 ranked teams, protecting the home floor. We'll go ahead and we'll take a break. When we come back, we will give you the final stats of this one as the Valley Tigers move to 9-7 on the season. Ames falls to an even 500 at 8-8, right here on CISN.
people drive to Indianola to buy new Fords during the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges and up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
We're back here live from Valley High School. Emery Songer and John Hurl. Our final score of the girls basketball game, 13th ranked Valley 57, 12th ranked Ames 43. Emery Songer, John Hurl, as mentioned with you. We'll go through the stats in a second, but just to wrap up this girls basketball game, Valley is underrated. And I think their defense is especially underrated. And if you had any doubts that, maybe depth is a problem, well, I can assure you that that's not the case. Not scoring, not otherwise. You want to talk about strategy? We absolutely know that Joe Segrist and his staff put together excellent game plans. Joe Sullivan and his Ames team, they're pretty darn good too. I wouldn't want to see them, especially if you can get Caroline Waite and Ashley Imes free and able to get going from the outside. But Valley just never let them do that in this game.
No, they didn't. And, first talk about strategy. Well, Valley knows how to win. They're state qualifier, almost every single year here in girls basketball. This is a coaching staff that knows how to coach at the highest level. They do a great job strategy. But you remember early in the game, I laid out my hypothetical situations for if Valley wins, what it would probably look like, and it's exactly what happened. They played great defense first and foremost. They held the team to significantly fewer points than the other team usually scores in a game. In addition to that, they had fundamental offense. They hit their free throws. They had crisp passes. They wasted away clock when they needed to. They ran their offense to get open scores and to get some nice looks at the basket. And you mentioned the word underrated with the Valley Tigers. I think that's really true. This is a team that's played, we keep coming back to this number, the third toughest schedule in all of Class 5A. That really means something. They're now 9-7 as the playoffs are right around the corner. And this is a team that if you're the 1 seed that gets paired up with, they're probably a 2 seed.
Yep.
If you're the 1 seed that gets paired up with them in your district, that's a bad draw. You don't want that draw because not only do these Valley Tigers know how to play in the postseason, as and their coaching staff know how to play in the postseason, as evidenced by the state qualifier banners that they have hanging up in this gym, but their players play really, really solidly, really, really fundamentally, and it's hard to beat another team if they just completely take away your number 1 and number 2 best scorers.
Offensively, the points scored were led by Grace Plummer. She had 19 in the game, along with 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Some would consider that a good night at the office for Grace Plummer. She also was 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Also in double figures for the Tigers, Alex Hunold finished with 14. She also had 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 steals by my count, and a block. She was 6 of 7 from the free throw line. So those two alone carried the offense for the Tigers. Also in the scoring column, Maggie Hall finished with 9. She was awesome defensively, face guarding Caroline Waite, the high-volume scorer, averaging over 17 points a game. She only had 9 in this game, and a lot had to do with Maggie Hall and her defense. She was playing on her throughout the game. Also, 8 points for Meredith Reeker, 7 points for Haley Chappell. On the other side, for Coach Joel Sullivan, his Ames Little Cyclones, they will still be heard from, and I think they very well could end up a 2 seed as well in their particular region. And I wouldn't want to see them either, like I said, especially if you can get the outside shots going. 11 points each for Brooke Spraggins and Ashley Imes. Caroline Waite had to settle for 9 points. 10 points for Tegan Lipsey. She didn't play much of the first half due to foul trouble, but she was able to have a nice stat line. 10 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals for Lipsey in the game. Overall, I know there was a lot of fouling going on at the end, but free throws were a big story. 16 of 20 from the line for the Tigers, just 3 of 4 for Ames. So they just did not get to the free throw line as much as they would have liked to in the ball game. As mentioned, Ames falls to 8-8 on the season, and for Valley, they improve to 9-7. We'll take another timeout. When we come back, we'll get to the boys' side of things, give you a big old preview as the Ames Little Cyclones boys basketball team enters this game with a record of 7-6, taking on the 8-5 Valley Tigers up next right here on CISN.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore. It's cold outside, and that means it's fireplace season. And you need one of the brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. They're the perfect retrofit for that old wood-burning fireplace that you're not using. You get beautiful flames, you get heat, you get easy operation, and they're all brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. Please come see us, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down, Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee, WaukeeChevy.com.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Welcome back in. We are live from Valley High School. Emery Songer and John Hurl, along with the rest of the CISN crew, getting set for boys basketball as the Valley Tigers going to be taking on the Ames Little Cyclones here in West Des Moines. Well, John, we just got done seeing an excellent girls basketball game between two ranked teams. These two teams unranked but have high hopes, especially the Valley Tigers. And the first thing we need to talk about is that incredible victory that the Valley Tigers had last Friday against the previously unbeaten and number one team in the state, according to the Des Moines Register Super 10 rankings, the Waukee Warriors. A lot to like about what I saw from that Valley squad. Obviously, you look at their leading scorer, Jake Auer, averaging over 16 points a game, but Ty Walker had a huge game as well. Shooting the ball, went to the free throw line in crunch time several times, was able to find a way to make almost all of them. Eli Raridan, we know that the Raridan name at Valley High School is synonymous with success in athletics. Drew Urek, I think, is a guy that you have to keep in mind as a big difference maker. Trajan Thornton, a good defensive player. Grant Reeker as well. They have a lot of different pieces that bring a lot to the table, and obviously head coach BJ Windhorst, he's going to have good game plan put in place as well. So for Ames, we have to obviously always mention the Taman Lipsey injury, him being out with the ACL injury, and this team has to take on a new identity without their young stud sophomore who is out for the entirety of the season. But Keyshawn Brooks has picked up the slack, scoring the ball, averaging 15 points per game, but where is it going to come from besides that, as this team averages just 45 points a game, and that's 41st of 48 teams in Class 4A. And against this kind of Valley team, it's a tough ask, but you really need to get over that 55 to 60 point range to really give yourself an opportunity, I think, against a team that can be pretty explosive on offense. And Valley this season averages over 64 points per game.
And let's give credit to Ames. They do play a tough schedule. They have played a tough schedule. Number 6th strength of schedule coming into tonight's game. But yeah, you hate to mention any injuries. You hate to open up on a bad note, but when a player is that good, you have to. You have to talk about it as a factor that maybe the team's having a little bit less success than people expected coming into the year. The big number is 45 points a game. That's tough. That's going to be really difficult to win games at this level in high school basketball if you're only putting up 45 a game. Especially you come into tonight, you look at Valley. Valley's almost 20 points higher, 64.5 points per game for Valley. Obviously, that's the biggest stat coming into tonight. How is Ames going to get points, and how is Ames going to score more than Valley when past Keyshawn Brooks and Corey Phillips, they've kind of struggled to find an established third scorer?
Yeah, 6th strength of schedule hasn't helped, but the fact that this team still finds themselves over 500 at 7-6 is a testament to Coach Vance Downs and the will of this team to try to fight through the adversity of playing in Central Iowa and in the CIML that is really deep this year. And this Valley team certainly is kind of, after Friday especially, throwing their hat into the ring as a team you obviously cannot forget about in any way, shape, or form moving forward. Taman Lipsey is here. He's, he doesn't have a brace on the feet. He's wearing the Jordans. I think those are the Jordan 11s, so he's looking good, but of course continuing to rehab that ACL injury. And we as high school basketball fans, we want to see him out on the floor as well, and his recruitment is going to continue to be a huge story. He's going to be the top Iowa recruit as he moves into the class of, I guess, that's 2022. That would be the class. So, overall, this game is going to be a tough ask for Ames, considering how well Valley played on Friday, but you get a couple of shots down from guys like Cooper Downs, Jonas Strawhacker. I don't know. Maybe something can happen if Keyshawn Brooks gets hot, finds a way to, make a few threes early and maybe get to the hole a couple of times, find himself with a, 20, 25-point game. Maybe we're talking a little bit, and maybe Valley has a tough shooting night, and all of a sudden that 20-point spread with their average offense is kind of whittles down to, 5 or 6, and anything can happen when a game gets close like that. We'll step aside, come back with the opening tap and your starting laps right after this. It is Valley and Ames right here on CISN.
People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords during the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges and up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Getting set for the opening tip. Both teams heading back to the bench. We'll have the starting lineups be announced momentarily as the Valley Tigers hype video going on here in the Cold Iron Fieldhouse is what they call it here at Valley High School, West Des Moines. Gotta love the pep band as well. It's definitely a college pep band vibe. They got kind of the hockey jersey shirts going on. They have the drum set instead of like the regular drums, and it's a pretty close, tight-knit group. There's not a ton of kids out there, so they make a lot of noise for the few of them that are out there. Certainly a fun atmosphere to be here at Valley, and dang it, they win an awful lot of pretty much everything that they do, and that'll keep the people coming as well.
Yeah, it does. I wanted to give a big shout-out. The tambourine player in the pep band has done a phenomenal job.
Well, even watching her play cymbals, she's still
cymbals now.
Yeah, I mean, when they're playing the fight song, she's playing cymbals. She's into it every song.
She's just into it. She's up and down. She's, playing with the band. I love it. I love to see that energy. But yeah, I mean, you talk about winning. There are a lot of banners in this gym. We were in Waukee a couple weeks ago. Obviously, that's a play with, and Valley doesn't want to hear me say that. Mention Waukee, but Valley has a lot of banners of their own. You look around, just a lot to be proud of in this community in West Des Moines Valley. It's a great high school, not only for academics, but for athletics as well. And it's good to see the community come out and support.
Well, the starting lineup's going to be announced. Ames is wearing black uniforms, trimmed in orange with some white. We kind of got that white diamond with the Ames A logo on the shorts as well, kind of that Chicago Bulls style short that they have. On the other side for Valley, they'll be wearing their home white uniforms trimmed in orange with a little bit of black as well. Valley across the front. We'll give you the starters as they are announced here. We'll start for Ames first. Cooper Downs will be the first man who gets the call. He's a senior. Official heights were not provided by Ames going into this game. Also Ty Walker there. He had a huge game against Waukee. Keyshawn Brooks, and he'll shake hands with Drew Yerrick, 6'3" senior for Valley. Jamison DeLisi also getting the call, a senior out on the wing, gives his big handshake to Taman Lipsy at the end of the handshake lines. He'll shake hands with Trajan Thornton, 6'2" senior for Valley. Jonas Strawhacker out on a wing. He might play a little down low as well for Vance Downs and the Ames Little Cyclones. He's a senior. Leading scorer for B.J. Windhorse and the Valley Tigers is Jake Hours, 6' senior. Shakes hands there. And then Corey Phillips, who's really coming on here, the sophomore, second leading scorer right now for Ames. And then Eli Raridan, the 6'6 sophomore, big man. He's also had an excellent season to this point. He rounds out the lineup for the Valley Tigers. Well, John, what do you expect here?
Well, Emory, it's hard not to kind of lean Valley's way going into this one just because they're coming off the huge win. They have, they average significantly more points per game. But I mentioned the huge win. Is there a hangover? You just beat the number one team in the state. You're coming into this game. It is at home, and, maybe you feel a little bit comfortable. Maybe Ames punches you in the mouth early and just gets going. But Valley, look for them to come out strong. I expect them to really do what they want to tonight.
They're trying to work their way into that kind of mix with the potential districts. When the districts get announced for Class 4A, they would like to know they have multiple home games on the road to the state tournament, but with 5 losses, basically going to have to win the rest of your games to be in that kind of conversation, I think. But this is a good team, make no mistake, as they win the tip, and Jake Auer has it. Ames looking like they're running a little 2-3 zone out the gates here. Auer gets a screen, pulls up, long 2, comes up short. Rebound, knocked out of bounds by Urak. Good box out by Strawhacker, and it will go to Ames. Ames are 7-6. The Little Cyclones are 7-6 this season, 8-5 the record for Valley. In the front court is Downs. He's going to pass it over to the top. Strawhacker and Phillips. Back to Strawhacker. Gets it back to Downs. Or pardon, that is not Downs, it's DeLisi. Now here's first touch for Keyshawn Brooks. Brooks pulls up, left wing 3. He is fouled by Urak, and he's going to go to the free throw line for 3.
That's a tough foul by Urak there because he really didn't seem to affect the shot at all. Brooks is going to go to the line. But just looking at the court right now, it appears that size-wise, Ames almost similar heights with Valley, but they seem to have a little bit more muscle, a little bit more size that way. We'll see if they can maybe use that with some inside game, trying to score the ball inside against Valley early.
Keyshawn Brooks, 45% shooter from outside the arc. Doesn't shoot a ton out there. 66 attempts on the season in 13 games, which that sounds like quite a bit, but that's really only 4 attempts per game, or just a little bit more than 4 attempts per game. Third free throw is missed. Rebound loose. Phillips had it for a second, but it will go out off of Phillips, and it will be Valley ball. 2 for 3 at the line for Brooks, who is a 78% free throw shooter this year. He averages 15 points a game. He really is options 1 and 2 offensively for Ames as they continue to develop the sophomore Corey Phillips. Here's Walker in the middle. Walker will pull up, mid-range jump shot. That's his game, and it'll heel of the rim, bounce out to Auer, and he'll lay it in. Timeout, 30-second timeout. Vance Downs does not like what he saw defensively there. We'll keep it here. 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Just 1 minute in. Quick timeout here from Valley.
Yeah, on that play, Auer, showing a lot of heads up there. He realized he just frankly wasn't being boxed out, goes and gets the rebound, puts it up. He is their leading scorer for a reason, and it's heads up plays like that.
Yeah, he also is an excellent shooter from outside the arc as well, averaging 37% outside. Ty Walker, good shooter, not afraid to take the mid-range jump shot. Also showed on Friday against Waukee his ability to get to the rim. He can draw fouls, he can make his free throws, but also defensively, he's an excellent defender as well. But again, the question is, if your Ames is, who's going to be your primary ball handler? You can't just give Keyshawn Brooks the ball every single time down and have him get double, triple teamed. Somebody else like Corey Phillips is going to have to, have a big effort tonight, but Phillips can't handle the inbound pass, and it's a turnover back to Valley. Phillips, though, I did see him play a little bit as a freshman last year, and now as a sophomore, obviously a lot more minutes being played for him this time around, and you would imagine as next year comes with Lipsy getting healthy, Brooks will still be here. He'll be a senior next year, as there's a great pass, but unable to finish is Raridan, and Phillips comes up with the rebound. Phillips will be a junior, Lipsy will be a junior, Brooks will be a senior. There are some different players that certainly could continue their growth for this team for Ames, but they could be the real deal next year moving forward, just with the addition of Lipsy and the development of the guys that are still going to be here.
Yeah, these minutes without Lipsy, there's a lot of development going on the court right now for Ames. And you mentioned that 7-6 record coming into today's game. That's a great record. These players are building a lot of confidence with the amount of that they're asked to do, and the amount of time that they're getting to play on the floor.
Long possession here for Ames. 2-2 is our score. Ames would really like to slow this pace down as much as they can. The less possessions Valley has, the less opportunity they're going to have to try to run away with this game early. As Brooks has it, this has been a 1-minute possession now for Ames. Here's Brooks. Raritan comes out and shows. Strawhacker cross court. DeLisi, 3, hits. So a good long possession there, and eventually a 3. Strawhacker cross court pass to DeLisi, and he buries a 3. DeLisi this season, 34% from outside, so he can knock it down when he gets the opportunity. Here's short corner, Urich. Not this time. Downs got a piece of that one, but Raritan, that tall body, gets it. But then, good job from the backside. Cooper Downs knocks it away, hits his leg, and it goes back to Ames.
Yeah, Valley had a pretty nice offensive possession there. They got a nice look at the basket. Raritan even gave him almost a second shot at it. But, yeah, nice job swinging the ball around, but no points.
Strawhacker with it. He goes to the top. Phillips can hit the outside jumper too, and he does. Well, this is exactly what we talked about that needed to happen as Phillips makes that 3. He's 4 for 24 coming into the game from outside, but he's never been shy to take the shot when he's open, and he does have good touch for a big man. So now it's 8-2, Valley down by 6. And Ames, we talked about, scoring is going to be the important thing. Can they keep up this kind of scoring for the entirety of the game? Valley will see what they try to do offensively. Auer gets a screen. He wants to take Phillips, instead kicks it out to Walker. Walker dribbles it back outside, over to Auer. He'll just pop the 3, and he'll hit.
Yeah, Auer has the ability to do that. Coming into tonight's game, he's 37% from behind the line on 92 attempts for the year.
Yeah, he is not afraid to let her rip. Over 6 attempts a game as Phillips drives on Raritan, throws it up, draws the foul, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Tell you what, this Phillips-Raritan matchup is going to be fun to watch. Phillips comes in as the second leading scorer for Ames, and Raritan, you just look at him, you see the size, the length that he has, and Phillips just has that size. It's going to be fun to watch these guys go at it tonight.
The sophomore has a lot of muscle. Raritan also a sophomore, so these two guys are the same age. Phillips makes the first free throw, 60% free throw shooter on the year. He gets there quite a bit also. He's not afraid to get to the line. Grant Reeker into the game for the first time, replacing Trajan Thornton. For Raritan, that was his first foul, team second. Phillips one more at the line. Phillips is giving up about 3 or 4 inches, I think, to Raritan in height, but he is more than making up for that with his muscle. So, like you said, that should be a fun one to watch as the game continues to progress. 10-5, Ames with the lead right now. Valley with the ball. Here's Auer at the volleyball line. Wants a screen, gets it from Raritan. Tries to pass it over to Ty Walker, but Strawhacker got his foot on it, and that'll be a kick ball, and it'll be out on the side here. Reeker will do the inbounds.
Valley has yet to look very comfortable on offense. It doesn't seem like they're necessarily getting the shots that they want to get, and it's we'll see how that progresses as this goes forward.
Grant Reeker with it. He'll go over to Walker. Walker in the short corner. Urich. Not much of a shooter or scorer is Urich, but a good all-purpose player otherwise. Down into the other short corner, Raritan. They trap him. Urich underneath the basket. Little spin move. Left it short, though. Strawhacker, a good job forcing a tough shot and clearing the rebound. Downs quickly the other way. DeLisi wants another 3. This one off the mark. Urich the rebound. Auer dribbles in the front court. Back to Urich. Now Reeker. Bounces it. Auer from the volleyball line. That one misses. Raritan had it, gets it, and is fouled by Strawhacker, and that's the height advantage that he's just going to have over everybody Ames could throw at him.
Yeah, and he's a very athletic guy, long guy too, and we've already seen it a couple times in this game. He just out-jumps people for the ball.
So that's the first foul for Strawhacker in the game. It'll be 2 free throws for Raritan as he was in the shooting motion, and he makes the first. His first point of the game, and first point for anybody other than Jake Auer on the season for Raritan. 47% from the line, so he's far from automatic. This one on the way, and rattles them both in. So Raritan, with those 2 makes, is right along that 50% line now on the season. And for a guy that shoots as many free throws as he has, now that's 57 free throws on the season. Certainly good to see him continue to improve his free throw shooting.
When you talk about Raritan, he's only a sophomore, but it's clear that he has the frame to put on more size and really develop his game. Something like free throws are something that are easily learned and trained. So, man, the potential on this guy, very high.
Here's Strawhacker, hands it. Little weave action with Phillips. They have him playing out on the perimeter. More of a 5-out look here for Ames. Phillips, 2 downs. Phillips wanted a little pick and roll. But good defense. Good job by Downs somehow collecting that as he went to the ground. Phillips catch and shoot 3 from the right wing. That one just long, and Urich the rebound. He surveys, leaves it, gets it back. wanted to skip pass, but thought better of it and waited for Auer to get to the top before he passed it to him. Ty Walker tries to slide it in there, but a good job by Jamison DeLisi to get his hand on it, force the steal. Downs leaves it for DeLisi, and he splits the defense, goes up, and finishes. What a play by Jamison.
Finish there by Jamison DeLisi. Between two fenders after he gets past the defender with the crossover.
He averages 5 points a game. He's at 5 right now, 6 minutes into the game. Here's a kick out to Reeker from Raritan. Back to the top, out of the volleyball line is Ty Walker. Now the short corner, Urek. Urek gets to Reeker. Reeker finds Walker, who gets in the middle of that zone, and he'll shoot that all day.
Yeah, and they're playing that zone pretty close to the three-point line, which means that there is a bit of space in the middle. Great recognition there by Walker, finding it and hitting the easy mid-range jumper.
12-9, Ames with the three-point advantage. Here's Phillips, pump fake. Wanted to see if Raritan wanted to bite on it. He did not. Keyshawn Brooks hasn't really gotten a whole lot of touches. Urek's done a good job defensively on him. But Ames having 12 points right now with minimal touches for Brooks is a positive sign, certainly for the Cyclones, as there is a blocking foul on Reeker underneath on a nice little spin move by Phillips, showing you the little ball handling skills.
Yeah, that was a great spin move. You love to see that from a big man playing down low.
And you saw he's pretty comfortable playing on the perimeter as well, not afraid to put it on the deck. He is a big dude. He misses the first free throw here. But, I mean, you got to like what you're seeing as the other big body comes in. That's Colby Christensen, the 6'8 senior for Valley. Reeker out, Thornton right back in here for the Tigers. One more at the line here coming from Phillips. And this one nothing but net. Jake Auer hustles into the front court for Valley, down by 4 in this first quarter, 90 seconds remaining. Auer guarded by Brooks, and this little shifting zone. A lot of rotation coming in the zone as well. And then Christensen, little hook shot. He's got a bigger, the size advantage that Raritan has is even a couple inches bigger when Christensen goes out there. I mean, I'm not sure what else Phillips is going to be able to do against a little hook shot like that.
That'll be tough.
Brooks goes baseline, tough lay-in. Wow, look at the athleticism by Keyshawn Brooks.
And you had the sense that it was almost time. You were wondering where Brooks was. He only had 2 points before that. Doubles his total to 4 now.
Here's Walker. Kicks it out. Auer gets it over to Urek. Urek's pass a little wide. Good job by Thornton collecting it. Extra pass finds Walker for 3. That's a miss. And taken by DeLisi. So Ames with 35 seconds left. Looks like they're going, Vance Downs giving them some signals. I'm guessing they're going to try to run as much of this clock out as possible and try to take a lead into the second quarter. DeLisi out on the left wing, picked up by Thornton. Over to the left side and Strawhacker. Here's Phillips, 20 seconds left. Phillips gets it to Brooks. Brooks surveys, now pulls it back. 5-second count is on, and he'll pass it up to Strawhacker and get it right back with 10 seconds left.
Brooks, you got to drive here. 5 seconds left on the clock.
Here he goes. Phillips gives him a screen. He goes around the big man. Kick out. Open look for Downs at the buzzer. Oh, it's off the heel of the rim. That was a good look at the end of the horn. But Ames, how about that first quarter for them? 15 points, and they outscored Valley 15-11. They'll take a 4-point lead into the second quarter right here on CISN.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving northwest and central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
(15-11), Ames with a first quarter lead. We go to the second quarter now. Emery Songer, along with John Hurl, on what's kind of a drab, regular feeling January day here at the end of January. But nice crowd in here at Valley High School. Ames with the ball with a 4-point lead. Here's Keyshawn Brooks, has his pocket picked by Drew Urich, left-hand layup coast to coast.
Great defensive play there by Urich, really slowing down Brooks quite a bit. Brooks is clearly the fastest player on the court when he gets the ball, but that'll be one way to stop him.
Phillips thought about the three. Yeah, Urich, not much of a scorer, averages about 5 points per game, but his whole MO is to try to play big defense and get some rebounds, just like he does there on the Phillips miss.
And Phillips isn't afraid to shoot that three. That's his third three of the game. He made one of them, missed the last two, but his shot, he's got a nice stroke.
Yeah, he's got good touch for a big man, and they don't mind him being out there. As Raritan underneath against this zone defense, working on Phillips. Help kind of looked coming down. They kick it out. Auer is fouled, and he hits the three.
Auer is such a luxury because you get the sense that you can go to him wherever he's on the court and however much time is on the clock, and he's not afraid to shoot the ball with poise, and he's had a couple big-time threes that have, now Valley takes the lead.
Yeah, looking for the 4-point play. Auer's free throw is another Manette. He's got 9, does Auer. Downs picked up that foul. It was his first. But now Ames down by 2. We'll see how they respond after a couple of quick early buckets by Valley to give them what is now a 2-point lead. In the game, Patrick Kroffel and also Sam Vertanen. Vertanen with it on the right wing. Hands it off to Downs. Down to Phillips. Phillips working on Raritan is fouled. I think they're going to get Auer dropping down here.
And still, give the credit to Iraq, Brooks just not finding a way to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, Brooks likes to play off the ball as much as possible, allow him to get a little bit more space, as now Valley kind of switches the defense into his own look. Now it's Phillips. Tries to spin, kicks it out, Downs open, top of the key 3, heel of the rim, and Auer gets the long rebound. He's going to hustle it. Walker, he's open for 3, and he buries it. And here comes the Valley attack.
Yeah, I was about to say that, Emery. That felt like quite a bit of a momentum shifter as Ames had that lead. It was steadily decreasing, and now Valley with a 5-point lead.
9 quick points to start the quarter in the first 2 minutes, and Raritan gets the steal on Brooks, goes all the way down, up, and scores. They've already matched the amount of points they scored in the first quarter in the first 2:08 of the second. Quick timeout, Ames, and you feel Valley really taking control of the game. We'll take a quick break, come back with more right after this on CISN.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore. It's cold outside, and that means it's fireplace season. And you need one of the brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. They're the perfect retrofit for that old wood-burning fireplace that you're not using. You get beautiful flames, you get heat, you get easy operation, and they're all brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. Please come see us, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
Valley with a 22-15 lead, an 11-0 run in 2 minutes and 8 seconds to start this second quarter. Well, we were impressed with how Ames came out in that first quarter, but it happened so fast. Valley had already, they scored only 11 points in all of the 8 minutes, in the entirety of the 8 minutes in that first quarter, and it only took just over 2 minutes to get that mark in the second quarter, and this is a little bit more what we expected.
Yeah, this second quarter feels like the game that Valley wanted to play. Coming out here, dominating, not letting Keyshawn Brooks be comfortable. In fact, taking the ball away from him a couple times.
Walker gets the rebound off the Phillips miss on the 3. Here's Thornton, and that's kicked out by Downs. Yeah, the thing with Brooks is he is the scorer. Like, you're going to have a big game from him, but guys like Thornton and Urach kind of alternating who's taking care of him defensively, and they're just not allowing him to get the ball. When he does get the ball, they're showing on every screen. So the big man, Raritan, able to get a steal on that last one. But that's what's going to happen when you continually are able to kind of focus on one guy's offensive prowess. Is unable to finish this. Raritan, good rebound by Phillips.
Yeah, and when Brooks gets the ball, you'll see he'll do a head fake, and you'll say, wow, he is the fastest guy on the court with the ball in his hands. And they're just doing a great job not letting him utilize that speed.
Yeah, Urach's on him right now. Here's Phillips outside the top of the arc. Over to the right side, Strawhacker gives it up to Vertanen. Phillips to the top. Vertanen on the right wing. A little bit more patient set here for Ames, and they do finally get it to Brooks. Brooks will just keep the passing going here on the outside. Phillips, Vertanen, hands it off. Downs, pump fake, inside the arc now at the elbow. Hands it off. Strawhacker to Phillips. Phillips leans in, draws contact, gets the finish. It's a good job by Phillips.
Good play by Phillips there. Valley, though, great defense that entire possession. They do give up 2 points at the end, but it took Ames a long time to find any opening in the D.
Auer hits another three.
That's such a luxury that you can just go to him right after you give up a bucket, and he can just lay down a three. That's his third three from that exact spot.
Pretty crazy what he's able to give you. And so far in the game, 12 points for Jake Auer. Downs, back to the top. Here's Phillips. Phillips, he's kind of the one that seems to be trying to assert his dominance. And there's going to be a foul on a reach. I believe they're going to get Thornton trying to go around the screen. That'll be his second. Actually, his first, my mistake. Brooks is going to come out. Jamison DeLisi comes in, so they're going to go immediately into Phillips, one-on-one against Raritan, and he finishes again. Phillips showing off the muscle. You got to like what he's showing you down low.
Yeah, that was the matchup that we pointed out, and, you know, for a sophomore, he has a bigger skill set than a lot of sophomores have in terms of moves.
Walker misses the three, rebound Vertanen, and Strawhacker now tries to get in the front court, and Walker just takes it away. I mean, that, I'm just telling you this. I absolutely love Ty Walker's game. He does a lot of the dirty work, but he also has the ability to be explosive offensively. He makes good passing. He can shoot the ball well, as Phillips going to get his foot on that one for a kickball. But Ty Walker was the most important player when they were able to finish off Waukee in overtime on Friday. And is a timeout. Valley's going to call a full timeout as they try to capitalize on this run they have in the second quarter. 25-19, Valley by 6. We'll take a break with them right here on Central Iowa Sports Network.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Valley a 25-19 lead. Emery Songer, John Hurl. We are live from the Cold Iron Fieldhouse, West Des Moines, Valley High School. Valley ball. It is Jake Auer to trigger the inbound from underneath his own hoop. He's going to lob it all the way to half court where he finds Trajan Thornton. Auer gets it back. Phillips came out for a half second. He's going to immediately go back to the scorer's table. Had to get just a little bit of a break. Was replaced by Patrick Cropful, who's playing defense in the middle right now. Walker leans in, finds a wide open Auer. Great pass and money.
Man, talk about that combination. Walker just can do anything. You were talking about how much you love his game. There is a sweet pass to Auer, who Auer, always sweet, never sour, hits the three from behind the arc.
Yeah, well, on top of that, you know, you can find, I mean, Auer got lost. There's a traveling violation as Vertanen just shuffled the feet a little bit as Phillips will come in here, replacing Cropful. Walker, when he went on that drive, it's just natural for the Ames defense to kind of try to take away what they perceive as the passing lanes, and Auer found an open spot, and Walker found him and set up the catch and shoot for a guy who just doesn't miss catch and shoot threes.
And Walker is a pretty quiet little player. You know, he isn't very loud or flashy with the way that he plays his game, but he's always around the ball.
Vertanen comes up with a rebound on a missed hook shot there in traffic. Valley with a 9-point lead, 28-19. They were down by 4 going into this quarter, but really have exploded offensively so far here. Look at that interception by Raritan on the attempted entry pass to Phillips. Auer going to go all the way down the floor, gets stopped, kicks it out. Thornton, extra pass. Walker going to go baseline, but loses it off his leg. 2:04 left in the first half. It has a feeling that Ames needs to go on a little 6-0 spurt here to finish the half if they want to give themselves a realistic chance of winning in the second half.
Yeah, that's 100% true, Emery. And Ames is going to have to claw back. Like you said, 6 points would be nice here. 4 points would be nice here. But you don't want to let Valley score any more than 30 points. Or this game, it's going to be tough to get your team up at halftime in the locker room.
Strawhacker able to get the finish inside. Good look from DeLisi on the pass. First points of the game for Strawhacker. Walker back to Auer. He'll go over to Thornton. Thornton, not much of a shooter. He will slash, but his pass is low. Hits the foot. Auer is, just forget it. Just forget it.
That's absurd.
Just forget it. On the dive, Vertanen, the hard luck foul. Auer sensing that he was going to get a call with Vertanen around his ankles as he picked up the loose ball, just threw it toward the rim, and it goes in. That's the kind of half it's been for Auer. And he's got 19 of the 32 Valley points.
Well, we talked about how good he is coming in, but he still averaged 16 points a game. I mean, he's he's significantly past his game average here in the first half.
That's 2 4-point plays in the quarter for him. And you just don't see that too often at any level of basketball. So an 11-point lead for Valley. Just over a minute left here in this first half. There's a tough floater. Look at Cooper Downs for his first bucket. I mean, the Ames offense has been pretty solid for chunks of time during this first half. The problem is they just haven't been able to sustain that. And Valley in the second quarter has really exploded. They have 21 points right now, and it looks like they're going to be okay just running this thing down. I saw this at Waukee in the first half as well. They ran out the last 2.5 minutes of the first half against Waukee, just minimizing possessions, and it ended up working out for them in the end. And they're going to have no problem doing that once again here and not allowing Ames to get the ball one more time here in this first half.
And both teams right at their averages for points per game coming into today. And we mentioned that Valley is scores significantly more points than Ames does coming into tonight's contest.
With about 12 seconds left, we'll see if Auer starts to move here. And now with 8 seconds, he'll get a screen from Raritan. He'll use it, pop a three. This one long. Phillips, good clear out. He'll launch full court shot. That'll be short. And that'll end the first half. You called it. They're basically right on their halftime averages for the season. And it's Valley by 9, 32-23 at the break. We'll take a break. When we come back, halftime show, halftime stats coming your way as Valley leading Ames by 9 right here on CISN.
People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords during the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges and up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute.
Back here at Valley High School in West Des Moines. At the half, it is 32-23 in favor of the Valley Tiger boys basketball team. Over Ames, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the girls basketball game. Joe Segrist, the head coach Coach, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on the win. That Ames team is a solid team, but we talked about it. Your team's defense has been absolutely phenomenal, and that, again, showed, especially late in the game as the offense continued to kind of it wasn't like you guys went on a bunch of big runs. It was just kind of steadily throughout the game you guys took control. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I really like where this team is at defensively. We're getting better and better each time out at practice. We've gotten healthier over the course of the season, and it's still's got a ways to go to be as good an offensive team as we've had, but it's one of the best defensive teams I've had in my 8 years. Yeah, well, you could tell that pretty immediately once you saw the Waukee scores that you put up. Waukee, one of the top 3 or 4 offenses in the state in Class 5A, and you've held them to 48 points in regulation and 38 points in an overtime period. Right. So that jumps off the page as well. Seems like you're playing your best defensive basketball, but offensively in this game, Grace Plummer with 19 points, Alex Hunnell with 14 points. Both of them pretty much across the board can handle anything statistically that you need on offense, but it's players like Maddie Brown, players like Maggie Hall, and even Haley Chappell who do a lot of the dirty work, set some screens, make some good passes, and then the defense that Hall and Brown did throughout the game on the top 2 scorers for Ames really shut them down. Yeah, those 2 are our MVPs, we thought tonight. We knew we needed to do a great job on Waite and Ames, 4 and 42, and I just was real proud of the way we executed that game plan. Shut down their drivers, in the paint, and then get out on those 2 really good shooters. They had made 90 of their 102 threes coming in, so we knew we needed to get up and guard them and then be a little bit more passive on the others. Well, the interesting thing is some of the others weren't afraid to take shots, but you dared them to, and they weren't knocking a lot of them down. Now moving forward for this team, how do you think that the Valley Tigers can improve? I don't know how much better the defense could possibly get, but offensively you mentioned you're trying to get the offense to play a little bit more consistently as the season wears down. What would you like to see specifically from the offense moving forward? Yeah, we really just break it down each and every day in practice, and I think our first practice with everybody healthy was after a holiday break. So we spend a lot of time on offense just so we can execute like we did tonight. I thought our half-court game was pretty good, especially in the second half. So it's still a growth area for us. We had tons of opportunities in that Waukee game that you were talking about. We just couldn't get a layup to fall, couldn't get some free throws to fall in the end. But if we hit our stride offensively with where we're at defensively, I don't think anybody's going to play us come late February. Well, I was going to say, this is a team already right now that you don't want to see because you guys defensively just take people out of their element. Again, final score tonight, 57-43. Head coach Joe Segrist, Valley Tigers. Thanks so much, sir, for coming and stopping by. Congratulations on the win. Thanks for having me. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll give you the halftime stats of the boys basketball game, get you ready for the second half as the Valley Tigers a 32-23 lead over Ames right here on CISN.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. It's kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords. During the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges. And up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Schottenkirk Ford.
32-23 is our score as the Valley Tigers with the lead on boys basketball. Emery Songer, John Hurl with you. 21-8 was the second quarter margin after Ames had a 4-point lead in the first quarter. Jake Auer, 19 in the first half, and he basically couldn't miss.
Yeah, that was just an incredible first-half performance. Auer is the leading scorer on Valley's team, but even for him, that was above his standards. You mentioned the 2 4-point plays in one half, which is just incredible.
And in one quarter.
In one quarter, yeah, one quarter. And that second quarter, we talked about it, that's probably the quarter that Valley wanted to play. The first, they got off to a little bit of a rough start, maybe a hangover from beating the number 1 team in the state last week, but that second quarter is really where they started to flex their muscle a little bit. And you saw Auer, but also mention Ty Walker. Because he played just a great role, kind of behind the scenes almost, just doing a lot of things offensively, defensively, finding open guys, poking at the ball and getting a steal, adding some points in when he needs to. He's a really good all-around player that kind of gets lost sometimes when you're not paying attention to him.
Well, that's what you got to pay attention to with Valley generally, is the fact that pretty much everybody they play has a pretty defined role. That extends to Drew Urich, who, statistically, you're not going to see a whole lot from Drew Urich except for some rebounds. But he is incredibly important to their success because of the way that he defends and the way that he gets position. He's an important screener as well on, the offensive end. But again, Urich on the season averages about 4.5 points a game, and he's 1 for 7 from 3. He just doesn't shoot the ball very much, and he doesn't score a whole lot. But like I said, he's going to play a lot of minutes, and he's incredibly important to what they do, especially for a guy that's 6'3". He's going to draw a lot of tough matchups on the defensive side, and he did a great job on Keyshawn Brooks in that first half. Other guys include that I think you have to pay attention to is Trajan Thornton. Thornton isn't a huge scorer either, about 3 points per game, but again, a long, lanky guy. And when he does shoot the 3, he makes them. Over 50% from 3 when he takes them this season. He hit a huge 3 to start the overtime against Waukee. Hadn't shot a single shot from outside the arc the entire game to that point, and swished a 3 to start the overtime, and Valley never trailed again the rest of the game. So he's clutch. He can do it a lot of different ways. And then when Colby Christensen comes in the game, he only averages 2 points a game, but it doesn't get easier for your bigs. He's not going to be out there a whole lot of time because Eli Raridan is certainly the feature big man. But when Christensen is out there and he gets the ball down on that block, he's 6'8". He's going to have a big size advantage over anybody that you put up against him. And we saw in his one-shot attempt in the first half, an easy little hook shot in the lane. So many guys on this team are not going to make your headlines, but they're important to the success of the Tigers. And they're the 10th best offense, 21st ranked defense. They're willing to play the pace game. They would much rather have this game be played in the 60s, and against most teams that way as well. In fact, they beat Waukee at their own game 77-72 in that game. So why wouldn't you have confidence in just trying to have as many possessions as possible?
Yeah, I use the term flex your muscle, and they really do have a lot of muscle. That clearly defined player roles is a huge part of the chemistry of a basketball team, and really the cohesiveness. If every guy buys into what the coach asks of them, it's very clear that what Valley has been able to do that, and that's why they have this lead, and that's why they look like they're probably going to win this game.
Still half basketball to be played before that happens. 32-23, Valley with the lead. Here's a little mid-ranger from Raridan on a pass from Thornton. And then when he starts knocking that shot down, it's almost like you don't want to concede that to him, but then as soon as you come out on him there, he's going to get inside and make your life even tougher. Here's Brooks, catch and shoot 3, and he buries that. It's his first shot in a long time.
I was just about to say, I have a hard time believing they're going to keep him to just 4 points on the night, and immediately he comes out and scores a 3 for his team's first basket of the half.
Urich goes down low, double team on Raridan. He didn't see the double coming, but he able to hang on to the ball. Here's Thornton down to the short corner. Urich back to Thornton. Bounce over, Walker, open right wing 3. heel of the rim. DeLisi a rebound. It's DeLisi, Cooper Downs. There's a foul on Thornton. It's a good job attacking by Downs. Cooper Downs, Keyshawn Brooks, Jamison DeLisi, Corey Phillips, and Jonah Strawhacker out there for Vance Downs and his little Cyclones. For Valley, Drew Urick, Ty Walker, Trajan Thornton, Eli Raridan, and Jake Auer, who leads all scorers with 19 points. 34-26, Ames. Dribble it with Phillips. Good right hand over Raridan.
Great job by Phillips. Quickness he shows there, quick feet.
Driving into the hoop, he's had pretty good success in this game.
He's definitely been a big difference maker for Ames and really kept them in this game.
Urick, look at that pass from Auer. Urick up, under, can't get the shot to fall, but Raridan gets it. He misses the putback, and then Thornton draws the foul on Phillips.
Now, Raridan didn't get the basket there, but he's done that about 3 or 4 times tonight where he just uses his length and his size and just out-jumps everyone and either gets another hand on the ball to tip it back up in the air or outright grabs it. Now, if he can get that where he's getting the putback consistently, because he has struggled with that a little bit, he's going to be a lethal player.
It was Phillips' first foul, first team foul on Ames. Auer catch and shoot 3 right wing. He continues to not miss.
Nothing new with Auer there. That's the game plan. He loves that spot on the floor, that right outside the arc, right to the right of the top of the key.
He missed from the top of the key at the end of the first half. I can't recall another 3 he's missed in the game. I mean, that's 6 of them by my count. Here's a 3 from Brooks. He can hit him too.
Brooks' second 3 of the game, and yeah, we'll trade baskets here by a couple great players, really.
Well, again, if Ames can get a stop here and get another score, all of a sudden we're talking maybe a 1-possession game, but you got to get a stop. That's easier said than done. Out to the top, Thornton over to Walker. Walker to the short corner, and Urick. Urick, skip pass, Auer, catches it, thought about letting her rip over DeLisi, but thought better of it. Now he's got it over to Thornton, right wing. Leaves it for Walker. Walker thought about the short corner again, but Ames really active, making sure they get to their spots defensively, and Auer jacks up a 3 from the left wing this time. No good. Look at Urick saving that pass. Wow. Urick somehow over the top of his head, and then the tall Raridan saved the possession, and Valley keeps it for another look at the hoop. So Ames got the stuff they wanted. They just couldn't clear the board.
Great hustle play there by Urick from a guy that's been hustling all night long.
Auer from the right side again.
After a rare miss, Auer back on the right track with another 3. That's exactly what Valley needed to do there to just keep extending this lead. Wow.
Keep finding that dude. Yeah. Phillips has his pass tipped by Auer. It's a steal. Quickly to Thornton, back to Auer. Urick, quick pass, Walker open, right wing. That's just long. Phillips, a good rebound. He'll get it to Downs. Ames doing a good job just hanging in here for now.
They are.
But you got to score on this end. Downs, nice pass to Strawhacker.
Ames is just kind of weathering the storm. Look at how big of a night Auer's having. Well, guess what? It's only a 7-point game. They're definitely within striking distance. Credit a lot to Phillips, who's done a great job keeping his team in this game.
Urick, little turnaround inside from about 6 feet. That's his game. When he shoots it, it is from within about 8 feet of the hoop.
Great offensive basketball being played by both teams right now.
42-33. Here's Phillips at the free throw line. Turns around, finds DeLisi open. That one a little bit short, and Raridan comes up with the board. Here comes Auer. Brooks picks him up. Here's Walker in the right corner. And when he caught the ball, he kind of bobbled it a little bit and had to reestablish a pivot foot and then move that pivot foot. Raridan and Thornton will come out for the time being. It'll be Christensen in the game along with Grant Reeker. By my count, that's only the 4th turnover for BJ Windhorse Club. But Ames down by 9, get a bucket here, continue to just try to stay within range. Going a little spurt, you never know what'll happen. Here's Phillips, he'll drive on Christensen this time. Christensen says, not today.
Well, he talks about Christensen. He came in only averaging 2 points a game, but he definitely makes his presence known when he comes into the game. That's a textbook example right there of just blocking Phillips, who probably doesn't have that happen to him very often.
Phillips comes to the outside this time, tries to hit a 3, misses. Reeker comes out with the rebound. Well, that'll shy Phillips away from the hoop when Christensen's in the game, because he had gone into the hole several times as Reeker hits a 3. But that's the thing with Phillips. He had scored at least 3 buckets diving into the rim on Raridan, and Christensen says, get out of here. that's going to not allow, he's not going to want to do that too awful much, especially when Christensen's the man in the game. After that timeout by Ames, it's a full. We'll take a break with them. 45-33, 12-point lead for Valley right here on CISN.
People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords. During the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges. And up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
It's right. We're back here at Valley, a 45-33 lead over Ames. We talked about Ames kind of hanging in there. They were within 4 for a second. They were within 7 for a second. But I mean, Valley's just shooting lights out. 25 points for Jake Auer, and then you get some other guys like Ty Walker hits a shot here or there. You got Raridan, who's got 6 points on the interior. You have Reeker, who just hit a 3. Urok hit a shot from inside the paint. And Ames just doesn't have the firepower to consistently go bucket for bucket with you. Not a lot of teams are going to have that at this caliber with as many guys are getting into the mix, along with Auer, who's just having one of the best games he's had all year.
Well, if you look at Auer and if you look at the number of points scored, he clearly, with 25, he's clearly in the lead. But he definitely has not done that alone. Don't discount the fact that almost all those threes that he took, with the exception of the 2 that were 4-point plays, were wide open, set up by great passes and great screens by his teammates.
Christensen clears the rebound on the Strawhacker missed 3. Here's Walker. He'll go baseline. Little floater, and he's fouled. I think Strawhacker came over late and got him. It'll be 2 shots for Walker. Walker this season has been an excellent free throw shooter, 76%. Strawhacker's second. 76% solid, and Walker, I believe, Walker and Auer both went to the line several times at the end of the game against Waukee as Walker switches the first free throw. And I believe because they were getting fouled a ton at the end of regulation as Waukee was making a little comeback to force overtime, and then they shot a ton in the overtime period as well. I think between Walker and Auer, they were like a combined 17 of 18 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter in overtime.
Well, yeah, Walker comes in at 76% free throw shooter. Auer, 89. Rounded up to 90 because it's 89.7. Ooh, that's a tough.
So, and Waukee did an excellent job still finding a way to force overtime in that game despite those two hitting every free throw. But can't you try to foul somebody else? But Valley did a great job making sure those were the 2 guys that kept touching the basketball. 2 for 2 at the line there for Walker. It's a 14-point game now. This is as big as the lead has gotten in favor of Valley. Here's Phillips, a pump fake on Christensen. Hands it to Strawhacker, over to Downs. Downs, little triple threat jab step there. Now gets it over to Brooks, who hasn't gotten a whole lot of looks within the game. Phillips fires a 3. That's a round and out. And Urok comes up with the rebound. That's his 5th in the game. Quickly the other way. Here's Thornton. He wants baseline. Leaves it for Christensen. Nice pass by Trajan Thornton.
Great drop off. Really fast down the court is Thornton, and he just drops it off for his teammate. Nice little gift of 2 points.
Phillips drives in this time to Christensen and draws a foul, and he'll go to the free throw line for a couple. And you can tell he's the guy that Ames is kind of relying on right now to initiate the offense. He and Brooks both have 10 points each. Christensen's first foul. Phillips is 3 for 4 at the free throw line and makes the first.
Phillips, now Phillips has 1 more point than Brooks, but Phillips, it seems like he's had the ball in his hands a lot more than Brooks. It seems like Brooks just hasn't been able to get the ball very much at all, and clearly that's by design. A great coaching job by Valley, and the players are executing that game plan.
2 for 2 at the line for Phillips. He's now 5 of 6 at the stripe. Auer quickly ahead, looking to Grant Reeker. Urok surveys, and then we'll get it to Thornton. Here's Urok. Valley with the 14-point lead. Bounce over to Thornton. Thornton lost the ball, but gets it back as Brooks been pestering him well outside the arc. Brooks not a bad defender as well. As Urok goes on the drive. Nice finish for Drew Urok. Here is a drive tough floater in the lane by
and
Brooks.
That's just Brooks trying to get a bucket. He just kind of forced something there, but he's just trying to get going, and I think that he kind of senses his team really needs him at this point in the game.
Yeah, he does have 10 points in the game. I actually have Phillips down for 14 points, so the scoreboard here incorrect. Vertanen with it, gets it to Croffel. Urick's done a good job when he's been on him. They've also switched Thornton on to Brooks at times in this game, but Brooks has hit a couple of threes in this quarter. Phillips, a pump fake. He wants to go at Christensen again, and they're going to get Rieker, I think, on a reach. It is Rieker. For him, that's his second team foul. 1:03 left in the third. Valley by 16, 51-35. Auer will get his first rest of the game. 25 for him. Having a big-time night here in the Cold Iron Fieldhouse. Here's Downs, guarded by Thornton. Tries to get himself a little space, leaves it for Phillips. Phillips will probe in, and there's going to be a charge as his shot was rejected by Christensen anyways. They're going to get a charge. Thornton does an excellent job of taking the contact. And I talked about this. Thornton is that kind of guy that, again, isn't going to pop up real big in the stat sheet, but when he needs to shoot a three, he's going to make it.
Well,
when he's got to take a charge, he'll take it.
Yeah.
When he's got to play defense on a good score, he's going to do that.
Well, he'll do what he needs to do, and also he's deceptively quick on the basketball court. He just moves so smooth all around the court, and we've seen that be a factor in this game already.
He's got it. Hands it off to Walker. Walker, I'm talking about smooth. He's under control. Gets it over to Thornton. As it looks like Valley just going to kill some clock here as we're within about 20 seconds of the end of the third quarter. And they have the game well in hand. Walker with it. That was a tough pass. He found Urok somehow on the bounce on the baseline. Here's Christensen in the paint. He'll go with a quick little lay-in. Thornton, another assist.
The Christensen hook has been good for 6 points tonight.
I mean, and it's like you can't stop that because of his size. Downs spins around, fires a three, rattles it home.
Great three by Downs there, right before the end of the quarter.
And the shot did not get off in time, wasn't good anyways. But Valley extends the lead. They lead it by 15, 53-38. We'll take a break and come back with the fourth quarter of action right here from West Des Moines on CISN.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. It's kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
The Ames Little Cyclones have done a pretty good job of scoring the ball with some consistency. They're on pace to be a little bit better than their season average. Unfortunately, their defense has not been able to slow the Valley offensive attack. On the second and third quarters each, 21 points for the Tigers, and they lead it by 15, 53-38. Emory Songer, John Hurl live from Cold Iron Fieldhouse, West Des Moines at Valley High School. Ames has the ball to start out this fourth quarter. It's Cooper Downs, Keyshawn Brooks, Sam Vertanen, Jonas Strawhacker, and Corey Phillips for the Little Cyclones to start the final stanza of this one. Here's Phillips inside. Thornton is the big man down there right now. Kick out. Three on the way. Vertanen gets the roll.
And that's the second three. Downs had one right before the end of the quarter that kind of rims around there and drops in. That's exactly, though, how Ames needed to start that quarter if they're going to have a shot at coming back in this one.
Ty Walker with the basketball for Valley. Drew Urick, Trajan Thornton, Jake Auer, and Eli Raridan, the five starters out there for Valley to start the fourth quarter. They're up by a dozen. Walker with it. He'll drive, little hesitation move, leaves it for Urick. Urick pulls up from his favorite spot on the floor, but this one off to the left. Good challenge by Strawhacker on the shot, and Vertanen the rebound.
Yeah, all 5 starters, like you mentioned, still out there for Valley. That's just strength to the conditioning of these players, the fact that they've been able to play so hard all night long, and they're still out there at the start of the fourth.
Bertanen gets it to Downs. Downs up and under, can't quite get the reverse layup to fall. Walker clears the rebound, and he'll dribble it up, get it ahead to Thornton. Thornton inside-out dribble, goes all the way, but is fouled as he goes for the finish. And Phillips goes and helps him up. Good show of sportsmanship there. That's inside-out dribble that you just saw there from Thornton. Thornton is a senior, but that little inside-out dribble is electric. Okay, so that move right there is a legit next-level move. If he could put it all together and, like have just a little bit better finish, and as you can see, he has a pretty solid stroke when he feels confident in shooting it. Again, 55% from 3 this season. This is only his 5th and 6th free throw attempts. Hasn't had a chance to do a whole lot in free throws as he makes both of them here this season. Those are his first 2 points of the game. But, I mean, I feel like if he needed to be more of a go-to guy offensively, he could be, as Bertanen hits another 3.
Yeah, you'd think so. He's probably the fastest guy down the court for Valley in terms of ball in his hand, dribbling. He does seem like he's got a lot of potential. Like, he's got kind of a well-rounded game. He brings a lot to the table. He's pretty dynamic. You wonder, as we head into the postseason, in his senior year, if he'll start to kind of develop that edge and really go after it and be a real player for this team, a real difference maker, more so than he already is.
Yeah, Raritan hits the mid-range jump shot. And again, I mean, like, they can survive with him being the 5th option. As Brooks, a little inside out move, step back 3 is missed. Auer a rebound. He'll get it ahead. Walker, he'll go baseline, and he is fouled. 57-44, just under 6 minutes to play in regulation. Valley by 13. But that's the thing, though, is like, great teams. B.J. Windhorst has these guys all have a role. Thornton needs to play good, solid defense on and off the ball. Lob. Oh, Raritan puts it down.
Play of the game so far, Emory. Absolutely electric statement play by Raritan.
Brooks is fouled. Urick blocked the shot anyways. What a lob. I believe that was Auer on the assist on the inbound pass. Obviously a set play, and Raritan rises up in his 6'6" frame, slams home the dunk to put him in double figures for the game, and that'll be on the highlight reels. Brooks comes and gets the inbound pass, working on Urick, gets it over to Downs, and there's going to be an offensive foul. I think Strawhacker, a little bit of a sliding screen attempt. But I mean, like, you talk about this game just in general, as Croffle comes in for Strawhacker, who now has 4 fouls in the game. 15-point lead for Valley. I mean, it's hard not to like this Valley team.
Really hard not to like this Valley team, Emory. Coming into tonight, 8-5 off of the biggest win by anybody in the state up until this point. It's hard not to believe that this team has the opportunity to put it all together here towards the end of the season.
Well, when you can beat Waukee, who pretty much everybody in the state thought was number 1, as Downs short on this 3-point attempt. Walker collects the rebound.
And they've just got so many guys that are so capable and competent, Emory. We have already talked at length about how well these guys fill their roles, but just the fact that the luxury of having somebody like Colby Christensen come off the bench and just provide you a solid 6 points while playing great D. How many teams in the state are going to be able to do that realistically?
I'm not sure. A rare 3-point miss from Trajan Thornton as that play was kind of breaking down a little bit. It'll be out of bounds to Valley, and timeout called by B.J. Windhorst and the Tigers. We'll take a break with them. 59-44, Valley by 15. Fourth quarter action right here on the CISN.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore. It's cold outside, and that means it's fireplace season. And you need one of the brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. They're the perfect retrofit for that old wood-burning fireplace that you're not using. You get beautiful flames, you get heat, you get easy operation, and they're all brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. Please come see us, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
Valley a 59-44 lead here as we enter the middle part of the fourth quarter. Emory Songer, John Hurl with you. Central Iowa Sports Network action on a Tuesday night. And we kept telling you about this Valley team. The 5 starters that we've seen out there obviously have been impressive. And then you got a couple of guys that come off the bench. Grant Reeker and Colby Christensen, and they both have pretty defined roles as well. Rieker comes in as kind of that wing that is asked to hit a three when he's given the opportunity, and he just kind of slides in for various guys throughout the game to give them a little bit of a rest. And then, of course, Christensen comes in for Raritan for short little spurts. And he's tough to stop inside because he's 6'8", and he's also a great shot blocker on the other end of the floor. They have pretty much everything with a 7-man rotation. Here's Walker, probes inside, leaves it for Raritan. Raritan, as you can tell, Valley probably going to be pretty patient. Walker does get open, fires a three. This one a little bit long. Look at Raritan get the rebound, put back, and one. Hoop in the harm.
Great play by Raritan, one of many that we've seen tonight. Really, the makeup of this Valley team reminds you somewhat of the way that an NBA team likes to build their roster. You have your star, you have your hour who's capable of just going off on the stat sheet, but then you have to have a very capable number two. They have that in Walker, especially a number two that's okay being a bit quieter and doing a bit more of the dirty work. Raritan is your big rebound guy, and then you have role players that specialize in certain types of shots, specialize in defense, and specialize just in coming in and doing that role for a little bit and getting right back out. It's the makeup of a really solid team, and I expect them to go far in the postseason.
30-second timeout here for Ames after Ty Walker. A nice little finish going baseline off the glass on an excellent pass from Trajan Thornton. We kind of sleep on his passing ability, too. We've seen Thornton. I have him down for 4 assists, and, I mean, he puts some zip on the ball, and he puts it accurately there. That one was a rocket over to Walker, who was able to drive in and finish over the top, and now the lead is ballooned to 20, 64-44. It is now a full timeout. So we'll take a break. 20-point lead for Valley right here on CISN.
People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords. During the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges. And up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
Valley a 64-44 edge as the game continues. Jake Auer had 19 at the half. He's got 25 right now. Eli Raritan with 13. Ty Walker with 9. 6 each for Drew Urich. Colby Christensen, Grant Rieker has 3. Trajan Thornton has 2. But everybody, all 7 guys who have played so far for Valley have contributed in a multitude of ways. Ames with the ball. Cooper Downs with it. Gets inside. Kicks it out. Here's a 3 from the right wing for Corey Phillips. Comes up just short. Urich the rebound.
You know, Phillips wasn't able to get it to go, but that was a really nice swing pass around the defender by Downs to set Phillips up for a nice open look.
They're just missing maybe one more big offensive guy, and that very well could be Taman Lipsey, who's out for the season with that knee injury that he suffered during the summer. As Raritan has that slip through his hands on the entry pass from Walker. The turnover gives it back. By my count, that's only 6 turnovers by Valley as Thornton comes out. Rieker will come back in.
Well, the thing about this Ames team is, you know, you mentioned they are missing Lipsey, but we talked about it earlier how much these minutes matter to the developing players. Phillips is going to be a completely different player at the end of this year than he was at the beginning, and the fact that he is asked to do so much more than he would if Lipsey was in the game means he's going to develop quicker. This team, you completely mentioned, you're spot on when you say that they're missing one piece, and that one piece had, you know, an injury at the beginning of the year, and that's unavoidable, but they are going to benefit from the amount of time that these guys are getting to play and the roles that they have to fill. And when he comes back, they're going to be able to hit the ground running, and they're going to be a competitive basketball team next year.
Quickly the other way, Ames after a great pass to Raritan and finish after Ty Walker set him up. Raritan now with 15 points in the game. And the top 2 scorers, Brooks and Phillips, are going to be back next year. Look at Walker on the drive with the right hand. And he's a double figures with 11. So you add Lipsey to Brooks and Phillips, and, yeah, you're going to miss some of these other senior leaders you have, but you have to like that as a top 3 coming back next year, especially offensively for Ames, as Brooks is going to be called for a traveling violation as he tried to gather it. Ames is going to empty the bench here. And Valley also going to get Garong Dang into the game for the first time. Also in for the first time will be Jackson Carter. Urich comes out. Auer comes out. Colby Christensen is back in as well. Walker exits. Thornton also comes back in for Valley. For Ames, they brought in their bench as well. Junior Nicole Attack is into the game for the first time.
And the thing about Brooks is that you get the sense that he actually does want to turn into more of a pure shooter than he
wants to be off the ball more.
But he can't because they need him to be on the ball. They need him to dribble the ball. He can't do that with the current makeup of the team. When you get Lipsy back next year, that frees him up to be more of a spot-up shooter
what he wants
from
to
three.
Be. Yeah.
That's what he wants to be, and that's where he feels most comfortable. He's 45% from behind the line, and that's without getting the shots that he really wants to get. And that'll be a very big part of their game plan next year, I'm sure.
Here's a three. Fired, missed. Nico Stevens comes up with a rebound. Stevens, a Cole Attack. Sam Vertanen is back out there. Here's a catch-and-shoot three by Tate Zalaski. Can't get the roll there. Christensen clears the rebound. Also out there for the first time is Jay Rathy, a senior for Vance Downs and the Ames Little Cyclones. Here's Reeker to the top. Christensen hands it off. Jackson Carter tries to slip through the defense, leaves it for Thornton. Thornton, little fader, gets the roll. Thornton's first made basket. There's going to be a 30-second timeout just for the substitutions. It'll be Truman Mortz, a 5'11 junior for Valley, coming in for Thornton, who will officially end the game. That's the first bucket of the game for Thornton, and immediately he comes out. Vertanen comes out for Ames. And Devin Settle will come into the game for the first time for Ames as well. Attack with it on the left wing. Takes one dribble in, gets it to Rathy. Rathy goes baseline, little floater, can't get it. Rebound loose. Almost grabbed by Zalaski. Reeker drops it in for Christensen. Can't quite get the finish. Stevens, his third rebound in the very short time he's been in the game. 50 seconds left. Valley 70-44. This game has played a lot closer than the final score is going to indicate through three quarters at least. But it was never really a doubt after Valley went on their big run to start the second quarter as settles.
Yeah, that second quarter is really where Valley won this game, asserted their dominance, flexed their muscle. But you look at Ames, they did play tough in that first quarter. It wasn't necessarily easy for Valley. Ames definitely put up a good fight. They've got a lot to look forward to next year. They've got a lot of growing to do as the season goes on, and this is going to be a team that you definitely need to watch for going forward into next year. And Valley, wow, they look dangerous.
They are going to run that clock out. Truman Morse will dribble it out. Also, Casey Mum's on this roster as well, but he is out, and he is going to be an important guard. He's in his street clothes, and he hasn't played at all this season either. He's a junior, so he's going to come back next year. Add him to the mix with Lipsy and Phillips and Brooks, and Ames is going to be back in business, but they're just not quite to that level with Valley, at least from what we saw here tonight. Valley is 70-46 victory. That is a final. We'll take a quick break and come back with the final statistics and wrap things up from the Cold Iron Fieldhouse right here on CISN.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving northwest and central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Back here live from the Cool Iron Fieldhouse, West Des Moines, Iowa, as Valley High School able to get the sweep. The boys basketball game final, 70-46, as Valley kind of finished on a very, very strong note. Emery Songer, John Hurl with me. Statistically speaking, Jake Auer dominated the first half, 19 first half points, finished with 25. Then we saw some of the other guys step up. Eli Raridan finished with 15, Ty Walker 11, both in double figures. Several others got into the mix. Thornton got a couple of buckets. Christensen got a couple of buckets. Urak got a couple buckets inside. Reeker hit a three. I have a hard time believing that this Valley team isn't one of the top 10 teams in the state. I know they're not ranked currently. They do have the 5 losses, but at 9-5, now with the win over Waukee last Friday, who was the number 1 team in the state, I think Valley is going to start raising some eyebrows. People are going to start paying close attention because BJ Windhorst's team is going to be a force, I think, once we get into district play.
Well, and we talked about it a lot this game. What they do a great job of is team makeup. Each one of the players on this team has a role, and each one of them fills that role and is excited and to go out there and do their job. That's a great thing to do, not only for team chemistry, but you're going to win more basketball games if you're able to execute the game plan that coach has set out for you each and every time. They did a great job doing that tonight, and I look for them to do that more in the future as well.
Ames, we talked about it. They're missing Casey Mumm. They're missing Taman Lipsy, obviously, who's going to be one of the top prospects in Iowa come his graduating class in a couple of years. But you got to give credit. Keyshawn Brooks only had 10 points in this game, but he kept trying to make things happen. He is an off-ball player. You can tell that he would much prefer to be kind of a guy that gets an open look based on the way that the defense reacts to other guys. And with Lipsy, there's going to be a lot of tension on him once he comes back in the game. Mumm is one of the better outside shooters that they have available. He's out, obviously, with injury, and he'll come back next year. But Corey Phillips is an incredibly interesting player to me as well. A sophomore, 14 points, 4 rebounds for him. He was not afraid of going right at Eli Raridan and finished over him down low on the drive a couple of times in this game. Colby Christensen had an extra couple of inches on him and was able to block a couple of his shots. But for the most part, I think Phillips, especially if he can continue to get better on the outside as well, he's going to be a big difference maker, I think, for the Ames Little Cyclones moving through the rest of this season, see how he develops, but especially when next year starts and they get back to as close to full strength as we hope they can get.
Well, Emory, you want to win every game. But I encourage people that root for this Ames team to not just look at the scoreboard when they analyze these games, but look at the learning opportunities and the growth that you see from your players. Phillips is a phenomenal example of a player that still is pretty raw right now, but you can see how much he's improved. You can see him improving game by game and how he can get better, crisper, better at shooting the outside shot. You know, he's definitely comfortable doing it right now, but hitting it at a higher percentage. He's got good moves down in the low post, and this is a team with a lot of growing to do, and the place they're at right now, if you see them growing, that's a pretty dangerous team next year.
And you're just adding more to the puzzle on top of your top 2 scorers with Brooks and Phillips both coming back. The win for the Valley boys make them 9-5 so far this season. As we talked about, 3 guys in double figures. Jake Auer with 25, Eli Raridan with 15, 11 for Ty Walker. I also had him down for 6 assists. Also, I had Raridan down for 6 rebounds. A lot of different guys. I had 16 assists in the game as a whole for Valley, so that led to a lot of open catch-and-shoot jump shots, a lot of open looks down low there. An unselfish team. Nobody feels like they have to do it all by themselves, but they have multiple guys who you feel can take over scoring the ball. On top of that, as it looks like Centennial is currently leading Waukee on the boys' side right now, so Waukee in danger of dropping 2 games back-to-back as we keep an eye on that happening over there at Waukee. So an interesting development there as Waukee got off to that 10-0 start this season and looked to be in danger of going to they're down 10 with 2 minutes left against a very good Centennial team. The Centennial is legit as well. We can't mention that enough. But on the other side for Vance Downs and the Ames Little Cyclones, 7-7 now on the season. Try to finish strong. Never know when you get into that sub-state play. Upset a team here or there. They have the guys that can make it interesting. Do they have enough firepower to beat a team of Valley's caliber or a top 10 team's caliber? I'm not sure yet, but that's something that we'll find out because you get to play the games. Earlier tonight, the girls' final was Valley 57, Ames 43, 13th-ranked Tigers improved their record to 9-7, 8-8 now for the Ames Little Cyclones, but they also are going to be heard from. That's a good 8-8 team as well. One last thought on what you saw from the girls.
Oh, well, the girls' game, it was just, we came in, we kept talking about how even these teams were on paper, and Valley just did exactly, I think, what they wanted to do, game plan offensively. That was a real coach's win when you look at it. The coaches had such a good game plan coming into the game. Of course, the girls have to go out there and execute it, but they executed it to perfection. They, frankly, just took away some of the best scores that Ames had to offer, and that's how you win games, especially if you're Valley. That's how they want to play. They want to play systematic, and they want to play with great defense like that.
Another shout out to Maggie Hall and Maddie Brown, the two players that were basically asked throughout the entire game. Maddie Brown was on Ashley Imes, and Maggie Hall was asked to face guard Carolyn Waite. Those are your two top scorers for Ames, and neither of them could get going at any point in the game thanks to the defensive efforts of those two players. And like you said, it was a great game plan from the start, and it was a good job for Ames to stay in the game as long as they did. There was not any like one big space of time where Ames looked super vulnerable. It's just kind of systematic, little by little throughout. Like beat them by 3 in every quarter leading up to the fourth quarter, and then was able to have a big fourth quarter and outscore them by 5 to get. It's a 14-point win, but it really felt closer than that before the game got to its conclusion there. And I think both those teams, if they both end up 2 seeds like we think they probably will be in their respective regions once we come to regional play leading up to the state tournament in a few weeks, I don't want to see, if I'm one of the top 8 teams in the state, I don't want to see either of those 2 teams.
No, you don't. You don't, because both of those teams, on the Ames side, they had 2 girls that are really dynamic scorers. On Valley's side, that's just a system that they're using. And both those, if you get those shooters hot on the right night, you almost get the sense that they could beat almost anybody in a sub-state final. And then you look at Valley, you just can't slip up because they're going to make you pay for it, and they're going to play great defense.
Defense translates, especially in the postseason. John, it's been fun, my man. Always good to talk to you here on a Tuesday night. A couple of fun games, Valley getting the sweep, and hopefully we have another couple of good ones coming up later on this week.
Absolutely, Emery. I had a blast, and I just can't wait for postseason basketball.
Yeah, postseason basketball right around the corner. Again, Valley gets the sweep in the girls' game. 13th-ranked Valley over 12th-ranked Ames, 57-43, and 70-46. Valley defeating Ames on the boys' side as well. For our entire crew at CISN, for my partner John Hurl, I'm Emery Songer. We thank you for joining us. You've been watching Central Iowa Sports Network Basketball.